Welcome everybody to Back in My Day. My name is David Petrangelo, and this week we are talking a whole lot of superheroes. We got a little bit more discussion about Spider-Man, the latest Spider-Man film. I went to go see it. What are the odds? We're going to talk a little bit about Supergirl, and then we're going to go back to some Spider-Man chat too, and try to come up with somewhat of a ranking of our favorites of all the Spider-Man films that are out there from the last couple of decades. This week, I am lucky enough to be joined by
Michael R. Power.
And Ian Walter.
Gentlemen, hello. How are we this fine Sunday evening? I'm glad we were able to. Usually, we sort of, when it's all three of us, we kind of jump around a little bit. No, we got to find the day, we got to find the night, or whatever. And then I told you guys yesterday, hey, guess what? I'm actually going to the movies. We're like, we got to make this happen.
Back in my day, assemble.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think it's great that we're able to do this, and pretty fresh. So we're going on about just a few days since you guys saw it, and a couple days since you guys recorded your full review, which is up on the podcast feed right now. I just saw it. I walked out of the theater less than 24 hours ago, as of us sitting here right now. So pretty fresh in my mind. I'm sure my thoughts will kind of be a little bit muddled because didn't have a ton of time to sort of sit with it during the day today. I was doing other things, but we'll get to it in just a sec, and then we'll start ranking Spider-Man movies. But the reason why I want to talk about Supergirl as well is because now all three of us have seen it. It's a superhero movie, so we got to at least discuss it a little bit. Mike, you saw it first, I think at least a month ago or something like that, or a few weeks or something, I think.
A week ago. Yeah, a week ago.
Oh, only a week ago. Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I thought
When it
maybe,
came to
I know you
VOD.
didn't go to the theater, but I wasn't sure if
Yeah.
you, yeah, okay. Let's start with you then, because I just, whatever, pick you, Mike.
I am sad. I missed this one because it's not wrong of you to assume I saw it in theaters because I've seen almost all of the movies in theaters, and I just happened to miss this one. It's a hard time to get to theaters.
Hard to do.
But I'm sad that it didn't do well at the box office. I wanted to support it because I'm a big fan of James Gunn and everything he does, and I really liked Superman. And I
Yes,
know the
we
movie,
all did. It all ended
Yeah,
up
we
on
all
our
did.
top 5s or 10s of last year. It was a good movie. Yeah.
And I really like Millie Alcock. I wanted it to do well. Unfortunately, after I watched it, I understood a little bit. I don't think it deserved to do worse than Morbius, but I understand it a little bit, the box office performance. I don't think this is a good movie. I'm very disappointed in James Gunn's second DCEU movie.
Yeah.
It feels like
I'm
two
glad you
movies
said
in.
James Gunn second, even though it was Craig Gillespie, but I know what you mean because he's like the mastermind behind DCU.
Yeah, he's the executive producer. He's the Kevin.
He's
Feige.
over. He's
It still
overseeing.
does feel like a
overseeing
James
it.
Gunn movie to me. I will say that.
A lot of it does.
but
Yeah.
it does, because to me,
I think it does.
This feels like a Zack Snyder movie to me. It feels like we're back in the Snyderverse right after, like James Gunn did one movie with his sensibilities, and then all of a sudden we're back in the Snyderverse, and it's
I'll go one further when it's my turn to talk.
muddy. Every planet is muddy, brown, and
That's
bones.
true. Yeah.
And it's like the visuals are not great. I was surprised, and there's a lot of needle drops. Is a little bit of both of them. The needle drops in this movie were horrendous. And then, like, what is this movie trying to say? It is so confused, and I was so disappointed by the very ending of it. To be back here again with a super, let's go full spoilers, with a super character just like murdering bad guys in the second movie. I can't. It was very disappointing to me.
Well, it's just
and
to
the-
show that she's much different than Superman.
And the journey didn't earn it, in my opinion, at all. So I think there's a way to do it and earn it. This felt like Man of Steel all over again to me.
Wow.
And I gave it, so I didn't like it. I'm disappointed.
Yeah, you were harsh on me when we were going back and forth a bit the other
Yeah.
day. I was like, oh man, you really fucking hated this thing.
Yeah, I didn't like it, unfortunately.
That's okay.
Wanted to like it.
It's just okay. For me, it's just okay. I had a better time than you did, Mike, for sure. Again, this is going to be the same thing as I'm going to say, and I'm just going to attribute it to this and to Spider-Man, to Brand New Day. Like, I'm not coming into this looking for certain things from the comics or from the source material. I'm happy to be presented with what those stories are and what those are in the movie, and I'll just take it for what it is, right? On its semi-face value, if that's the thing. So I know this is largely, like, Supergirl was largely based on Girl of Tomorrow or something, whatever it's called. Sounds like it's supposed to be a pretty good
Woman
story.
of Tomorrow.
Woman of Tomorrow. Yeah, cool. Sounds great, right? the story itself is fine. You know, it's okay. I don't understand really why it did so poorly. It's not that bad of a movie, and definitely deserved more, like you said, Mike. It was very much an up and down experience for me. I liked a lot of aspects of it, and then there was other aspects where I was just thinking, you know, certain scenes would pop up or a certain character moment would happen, and I'm just like, it doesn't hit for me for whatever reason. Hard to put your finger on it. I only watched it a couple days ago, so it's still pretty fresh too, but it was just mostly okay. And I think my other takeaway was Lobo is a waste of fucking time in this movie. Just complete waste of time. I don't.
Momoa?
Yeah, like he's fine. He has fun, but so what? Why is he here? They could have done something else with that time. There is a version of that character or a version of a similar mentality in Spider-Man that is done in a different way, and we'll get into the details of that and stuff in a little bit. But like,
he's there because they fired him for being Aquaman, and they owed him something, and it was
in his contract or some shit.
Yeah, like he had a lot less in common with.
Yeah,
I'm not saying common. Like you're allowed to contrast the main character, but there was no like through line as to like why he should be a part of this story.
That's right. That's exactly it. So, anyways, all in all, you know, the leads are good. They're all doing well with what they're given, but I don't think what they're given is great, and that's part of the problem. I think some of the action scenes are okay, pretty good for the most part. For some reason, there's a couple near the beginning where like Supergirl goes and fights a bunch of guys in a bar, and you see none of it, and I don't understand why. Like, you're trying to be connected to this character that's protecting someone and supposed to be doing cool things and just sort of starting to get her power back, and we don't even see it. So why should I be excited for this person? Like, those types of decisions I didn't really understand. And then the main villain or villains are just kind of, I don't know. They could have just been a robot.
Prem of the Yellow Hills.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I like Frang of the Purple Hills. How about that? That's who I prefer.
it's not close enough to the comic. It's like very loosely adapted to the comic. Like they took the characters like Ruthie, which have Ruthie as the main character, and like the bad guy, and then like other than that, they didn't like the main story of revenge. But other than that, it didn't really have much. And what weird like I don't know what weird low stakes like or not low stakes. What weird motivations that the villain had. Like, do we know at all what he's trying to do? Why he killed the family at the beginning? Like
all male warrior race. I mean, it's pretty one note.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah. It's like it's a worse version of what they did in Mad Max.
But like, so I realize I haven't given my overall thoughts, but my overall thoughts do include the villain just kind of being one note, and that's there's nothing really for me to hook onto the villain, and like that's not always an issue. I think when the problem is clear, even in this it's clear, like you obviously don't want to let anyone, you know, terrorize people and steal their children and everything like that. Like it's clearly you should hate this guy.
As their female slaves to give them you know, more kids or sure.
You hate this guy for reasons that you shouldn't. Like he's just like there are times where in other movies you get a one-note villain, but the performance is really great. You have someone that has a take that kind of just carries it along, and you don't always need these like super layered Joker, Thanos style villains. But with this guy, I think his name is Matthias Schoenaerts. Like, not to say that he didn't do exactly what he was told or whatever, but the take that he had on this was very goofy. Like, it's like, on the one hand, you're supposed to be this menacing, ruthless, like we're supposed to be scared of you. And then every 2 seconds, you're kind of like blundering around. Like, there's just no, there's no meat to that bone, right? Like, there's nothing really me leaving an impact other than like, the things he were doing were really bad. And like, clearly he needed to die. But like, other than that, he didn't bring anything really to the table. And I got to say that probably extends to the writing and Craig Gillespie's like directing of it. So, like, just to, if that's the whole direction. I'm not saying every movie has to have this incredible villain. I agree with you. In fact, we're going to talk about another one that, like, it's very ambiguous as to who the villain is by the end of it when we talk about Spider-Man Brand New Day. But I don't know. Maybe it's a problem that I watched that movie a bunch of times before I watched Supergirl, and now I'm like comparing apples and
I watched
oranges, and there's
one, and then literally less than 48
yeah,
hours, I
Did
watched
you
the
guys
other.
like the one thing I didn't buy at all was the emotional through line of the movie, which is Supergirl and this girl Ruthie, which I like.
Yeah,
As like if you've
she's
seen
pretty good
True
in it
Grit,
too.
it's kind of like that. It's kind of
Yes,
based off that.
yes,
She's trying to
nice.
get
Yeah.
revenge, right? And she
Yes,
deserves revenge, in my opinion. This guy
yes.
murdered her family in front of her,
yeah.
right? And reluctantly, like Supergirl takes her. I didn't
And
buy the
doesn't, he
whole.
acts like he doesn't care, and those
Yeah,
things
he
sort
doesn't
of
Listen,
like
the
care.
boil
story of
over and stuff.
Supergirl wanting to spare her that trauma and not screw up her
Yes.
whole life, with that is like a good,
It
like
could have been
it's the
good.
morality is
It
there,
could have been
but
good. I don't think it was done well. Like I didn't buy that like Supergirl, like I didn't buy that she was like this bad person or whatever. Like we haven't seen enough of her to know. It's like she's just a partier, and it's like
yeah,
Yeah,
and
like
that's all we
where did
saw about
her?
her. Yeah, where's
She's trying to stop
her
Ruthie from becoming her. If that's
her, but
base.
they're murdering people left, right, and center throughout the whole the whole show. And if
Well, no, they
anyone
don't show any. They
deserves
don't show her murdering anyone. They kind
I
of.
don't think they show the girl kill anyone.
No, she
she
doesn't.
met
But Supergirl doesn't kill
yeah.
anybody either. She
Well, I
just.
mean, yeah.
I would say she does. I
She
mean, she's whipping
does
like tanks at
whip
people.
things
Well,
around at a
at the
lot of
very
people.
end, yes, but I'm
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
leading up to that part of the journey towards you get to that last moment where she, spoiler, does actually kill someone very
Yeah,
clearly and ruthlessly. I would say, she, like, I think what you're getting at, Mike, is like she keeps saying, no, you don't want revenge because it's not going to help you. It's not going to make you feel better. Like that's a
Yeah.
message we've seen before in
But we
movies
never
and
saw it. It's like
stories.
Supergirl's like,
But
trust me,
where
I
is she
know, but
getting that
yeah,
from?
where's she getting that
Like,
from? Yeah, that's what I'm
yeah,
talking about. Yeah.
that's the problem. I
It's like
didn't get that either.
if
So
she had been a person that had seek revenge and she knows that's a bad path, but it's like, hey, Supergirl looks pretty cool. Why wouldn't I want to be like her? And she
yeah,
doesn't seem
just
to have
she's
trauma
partying
from a
and she has a
previous
cool dog and she
a
has
cool dog.
powers. I'll be
Yeah.
you.
yeah.
She,
We
she
can
doesn't
we can talk
have
about the
this
setup, and
revenge
we can
thing,
talk
but
about
I don't know.
specific beats that we liked and didn't. I'd say my just to cap off my overall thoughts is like I enjoyed aspects of it, like you said, Dave. I think I'm leaning more towards Mike in that like I'm a little disappointed by this point. Like if we want to set up a Supergirl franchise, I would have wanted a little bit more. Maybe
Sure.
that's unfair.
Sure.
It is the second movie in this DCU. Maybe they don't all have to smash it at the park on the first go, but like
Mm-hmm.
I just think that the standard's pretty high these days. And when people talk about like superhero fatigue gets mentioned all the time, it's not something I actually think is a problem. I think it's just that the quality has to be there
Yeah.
Oh,
for
it's
a
a factor. It's a
superhero movie to
factor
hit,
for
right?
sure. Yeah, yeah.
So Supergirl to me was just like kind of run of the mill at this point. There were some aspects
Mm-hmm.
of it that were really cool. I like some of the throwbacks, and we can talk about some of these moments. But like, I like some of the exploration of the lore for Krypton and everything like that. But there
Yep.
were just other aspects. It felt like it's just a continuation of like, if this is Gunn's vision of like, okay, we can do different genres, but the main movies are going to be kind of like the same tone of like goofy and needle drops here and there. Like, I don't know if that's necessarily what I'm looking for in every DC movie I go out to see.
That makes sense. I think that's fair because for me, from my perspective, in comparison to MCU, which has been obviously very successful and stuff, most of it does feel that way to me. Not exactly in that description. Most of the movies, and it doesn't mean they're bad movies, because like you said, the quality matters. Most of it does kind of feel like, oh, well, at a certain point, I felt like I've seen this movie before, just with different characters. That's me. That's not everyone, obviously, and that's totally fine. But if you start going that path already, and we've already seen it happen before, not even with Marvel, but even with some of the DC stuff before, like, then what are we doing? Like, I thought him taking over was supposed to be a certain thing, and he wasn't, on set every day involved with this like he was with Superman. He was just, I think, executive producer, and that's it,
Oh,
which he's
Yeah, I
always going to be.
worry.
But
I have
I did promise I was going to come back to Mike's point about the mixing of the Snyderverse and the DCU.
okay.
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah,
It felt to me like the 2017 Justice League. I saw that in theaters and I was like, "Oh no, like what'd they do?" Like literally, it was so weird. It was like the most Frankenstein movie I've ever seen, where it was
yes,
like, Snyder set it up to be one thing, and then someone like Joss Whedon comes in and puts like the Avengers
Uh,
paint job on it, right? It's just like these two very conflicting things where it's like this movie is dealing with some very dark subject matter,
mm-hmm.
but it feels very goofy at the same time. It's like, why am I like trying to crack jokes and like I should really hate what they're doing and want them to pay? but like
Yeah.
there's all these things going on that really don't make sense to me
And
in that way. So it did kind of feel like the Snyder Whedon Frankenstein, where it's like this is James Gunn's universe, this is Craig Gillespie doing what he's trying to do, but I feel like James Gunn's coming in and saying, no, you need to add some needle drops here, you need to like a lot
Yeah.
of what he set up already, like Craig Gillespie had to kind of
Yeah.
follow
style.
through on, right?
Yeah.
So James Gunn is the Feige of DCEU. He's the executive producer, so
Yes.
he's in charge creatively, right? Him and Peter Safran, I think. So it's like they set the tone, they hire the people, they do what Feige does, greenlight the scripts, let them go. I think my guess is that Kevin Feige doesn't write scripts and direct movies. James Gunn has been very busy and turned around very quickly Superman. He's also written DC, but he also wrote Superman and directed it. I feel like that leaves him spread thin when it comes to other movies, and he maybe didn't have like the amount of
Yeah, but you
oversight
don't
that
think
Feige
those
might
needle
have.
drops are like his go ahead? Like, yeah,
Like,
okay,
I
you
just-
put
I
some
can't
more
believe
emotion
For
in
sure,
there.
they have
I
to be.
can't
They're
believe
so
he
obvious.
greenlit. Yeah,
like-
but I can't believe he greenlit the script. Is what I'm saying. Like, I just feel like I don't know. I feel like he wasn't
Well,
there
the
at the
idea
development
of
phase because he was busy with Superman. That's my
this
Sure.
Woman of Tomorrow story, like I haven't read it myself. I'm sad to say that this doesn't kind of make me want to go out and read it, even though I'm sure the source
Right.
material is way better than what we got
way
in the
better.
movie.
Yeah.
It's just like that story to me. Like I've actually heard people talk about the villain that they changed him drastically, which it blows my mind because apparently like to have that one note of a villain and say you actually made changes from the source material, that's kind of wild.
You would assume that it would be for the better, but it probably it doesn't
Yeah,
feel that
he
way.
was just like he didn't have any real good exposition or anything. He was like a warrior type, but he would just be like, ooh, like make all these weird sounds
You know what?
when
When
you should be
That's-
having like some sort of reaction to
Yeah.
something. It's like, who is this goofball?
It was pretty good.
Yeah, I think you know what it was. It's kind of funny. Now that we're talking about Gunn and his style, and you talking about how the main villain is very simple, not even just one note, but just like his whatever. Anyways, kind of like if you took Drax and made him bad. That's what it kind of feels like.
Right?
And Drax is a great character. Batista does a great job with him. Like all that stuff is cool, but like if
Yeah.
you did that, dumb down the comedy part because it's not doesn't hit in the same way clearly, and just put a bunch of shit on his face and made it wear black all the time, then you would have this guy, and it's like, what? That doesn't feel good, and like, I don't know, that it didn't work. He
Also,
definitely didn't work for me,
no.
To
And
be
that's a
honest, I mean,
problem.
Dave, you mentioned Lobo. It's like, yeah, he might not have hit for you, but at least he was going for something. If they had made like him the villain of this movie, it might have worked a little bit better. But in this case, he was just like their ally, bumbling idiot as well. But like
just
he had at
shows up.
least more like he was a presence more than like the villain was.
He's
Like, I
I
understand-
swear that he's there because they owed Momoa a check. That's
It
that's
must
what
be
I'm
But like
something
as
thinking.
like
bad
that.
as it may have been, it was better than Krem. So I think if he had been the villain,
Yeah.
I could have dealt with it a
Maybe,
little bit more.
yeah, but he's not really a villain. He's more of an anti-hero, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know much about Lobo. Like to me, it just
Bounty hunter.
Yeah, he seems bounty hunter.
DC's
Seems like
Wolverine.
anti-hero. That's
He's a
right.
bounty hunter,
Yeah, my
He felt more
my
of a
thi-
Thanos meets Cable, but like Momoa instead of.
I don't
What's
understand how they. Maybe I missed it, but like I understand bumping into him in the first time you see him, right? That's fine. It's a coincidence. Why the fuck does he show up like 3-4 times later? Just he knows where
because
everything
of
is.
The writing way that they shoot him,
He's a
pouring
bounty
him in
hunter
is he's
after
going
he
after
dies.
the number.
Oh, that's right. He's
2
going after
guy.
his like his buddy or whatever. Yeah, but
Drum
like
Braxton or whatever his name is.
whatever. But it seems like it's such a hard. It took so much effort for Supergirl to be able to get to those points. Is he tracking her? Like I don't. It just feels
Well,
like.
I gotta-
Maybe I'm
yeah,
looking for too
If
much.
they had made him beat Drum earlier, and then it was a surprise that he came back and he did it for like because he actually cared about these people. That'd be
I have
one thing. But
another
he's actually just
idea,
coming back to finish
like,
the job at this point.
Lobo is a bounty hunter and a merciless killer, right? So
Sure.
the biggest problem I have with the movie was the fact that Supergirl murders the bad guy at the end,
At the end,
like
yeah.
pretty
Come on, that can't be your
ruthlessly.
biggest. That's your Superman, Man of Steel comment.
That's my Man of Steel comment. That's like, I thought we were entering this new like hopeful DCEU and like ditching the Snyder like mentality, right? Of these heroes are like brutal and like we should be scared of them. I thought we were entering this new DCU that was gonna like hold them up a bit better. And you have Lobo right there. Like Lobo could have been the guy that killed
to kill him.
him,
Yeah.
and that would have been fine because Lobo is a bounty hunter and he's a murderer and that's his character. Like there's no one with an S on their chest like should be killing people like that, in my opinion. Like these are supposed to
Yeah,
be like
I'm
the
curious,
role
but-
model characters. Like
So so
truth
for
and
me,
justice and
I
all that stuff.
I don't
So
disagree with you
it rubs
necessarily.
me the wrong way. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you necessarily, but I think my issue wasn't that she killed him. My issue was what you said actually very early on, Ian, was that like it's to prove that she's different than Superman. But they kind of were doing that the whole movie.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they don't need to do more. I think you know that she's already different from literally the first minute of the film. You
Yeah.
know that she's
The
different.
Back to the Future opening.
Yeah. I actually I thought that the first, I would say, third to half of the movie was much better than the rest of it.
I agree.
Yeah.
It was more fun. Maybe like you said, oh,
And that's the
Mike,
character.
you're-
Like they're both
Yeah.
Catch the Han Solo
Kryptonians.
reference. When she's
They're
in the little
lonely. They
panic pit.
don't have their
Oh,
planet.
yes.
Like he grew up on Earth, right?
Yes.
And she came later, so she's even lonelier than him. Like like that's
I
the
like all that.
character.
I like
No,
the
I
whole
will say
loneliness part. I
the
think
the
that's
character's
good.
Yeah.
nice. She does a good job. Millie
Yeah,
Alcock
she's
does a great
good.
job.
Both what she's
Yeah,
good.
she's
And the
good.
throwback stuff with Krypton was all great stuff.
Yeah, it looked cool
I
too.
really
It was
like
very
this.
very cool looking. Yeah.
It was mainly everything that was happening in the present that I didn't give a shit about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so like overall it's just like okay. I think maybe I'm the highest on it than the three of us, but it's not like I think it's some home run movie and stuff. I just hope it doesn't make any issues for her character going forward, because I want to see more of
Yeah.
her. I want to see more, not just the character, but the actress and stuff. I hope they don't go pull the plug on her being it. Like she's not the issue. That wasn't what the problem was here. I know they want to. I know they want to make their money. I know they're going to look at Spider-Man and be like, "Oh, why weren't we that?" But like, it never was going to be that, no matter what. I think would have been good if it made a little bit more. Could have given us maybe a little bit more hope for what's coming forward. But
Who knew the summer box office was gonna blow up like it
I
did
had it
after
pretty high
that?
on my list. Yeah.
I had it. I think I had it in the middle somewhere, so I thought it was going to be a little bit
Like
better,
the summer looked abysmal until this next movie we're about to talk about comes out.
Yeah, but one movie doesn't save
Oh, the
the whole
Odyssey
list,
too.
so.
The Odyssey is doing
Yeah,
really
the
well,
Odyssey.
right?
Yeah, Odyssey as well. Yeah.
I will say one more thing about Supergirl before we move on, and that's
Yeah.
when we talked Superman, as much as I enjoyed the film, I did kind of keep bringing up the overuse of crypto, and I think in this case, like he's just an established character now. I didn't think it was overused. I liked it, but what I will say is the choice to kind of make the mission about him is confusing. Like you still put it together, but it conflicts with the fact that like she's supposed to choose going with the girl purely for want to do the right thing and save this girl, and like you know,
Yes.
like kind of do the right thing like Superman would, and so they have to kind of. It's like an easy tug at your heartstrings thing about caring. Everyone's gonna want this dog to survive.
Pulling a John Wick.
So exactly,
I'm gonna
it's
say
Hell
like,
yeah.
I will say that it was like
Hell
a little
yeah.
too much of like we would have been on this ride if you had just made the choice to go with her and not make it about the dog.
But the problem with that is if she's so different from Superman and she's so reluctant in general to be that person, it would have just been like flip of a switch kind of thing. So you kind of have to have some sort of inciting incident, I think, to kind of link it all together. And maybe that's part of what it is. And
Yeah,
I am assuming that's all part of the source material. But yeah.
But
I don't
saving the puppy and murdering the bad guy are completely different things. Right?
I would
Yes.
murder someone if they fucked with my
Yes,
dog.
we know, and that's what I mean. It's a little heavy-handed. Like
Yeah,
it's a
but,
little
like,
easy of like
she gets to
I would do
murder.
that too.
She gets to
Yeah.
murder him because he poisoned the dog, which she got the antidote for. But she doesn't let the girl who this guy murdered her family in front of her eyes.
That's
do
the
it. It makes no
sacrifice, Mike.
sense.
She's sacrificing for
Well,
Well,
Ruthie.
she
Come
does
on.
say like, "I will let you do this." That part I did like. I like.
Yeah, that's right. She wasn't actually
like,
going to
she
stop
was-
her. Yeah.
She just wanted to be very cautious of like, if you do this, and like I loved all that stuff. It was
Yeah.
just like
There was
the
not
way
enough
we chose
pay
to
that
get there
off.
was a little
Yeah.
clunky.
There's a-
Yeah. Yeah.
I personally,
I agree in that.
I'm done.
Sorry,
with
go ahead,
crypto.
Mike.
I'm done. I said I'm personally done with crypto. To Ian's
Oh, come
point.
on.
Well,
Dude, we've had enough.
no one was harder on
You-
crypto than me in Superman, but I think there was. Like I said,
him.
it was done sparingly here. It was a little bit better,
You
but
could tell even more in the other one that it was purely CG in this one, and it was so obvious. And
Of course,
didn't
it's
look
CG.
listen,
Who
this
cares?
is
yeah, it's CG.
kind of mild
It's
spoilers, but
practical
whatever.
effects
We're
and
almost
yeah,
done with summer. Summer movie wagers coming. This summer, the movies have been about someone coming home to their dog. That's what the movies are about.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Okay.
But yeah, no, like I might be sounding harder on it than I should be, but like I just think that it just fell below what I expected.
We'll see.
From
At some point we'll probably watch it
Supergirl
again.
movie.
Expectations were high.
Expectations were
high.
higher for sure
Yeah.
because Superman was a pretty big success. So largely, at least.
That plays into it.
Now I will say, Dave, you mentioned not being. I'm not a DC guy, so I'm not familiar with the source material. I like Superman, I like Batman, but like, it's like the expectations were high. But imagine what they were going into a Spider-Man movie. Like my expectations were through the roof for someone to actually care about and like want to see do well on the big screen. So there's a tease ahead to what we're about to talk about.
Yes, let's talk about Spider-Man: The Day the Earth Stood Still. What's it called?
Spider-Man: The Day After Tomorrow.
The day after yesterday and before tomorrow. Which is Spider-Man today, I guess. The day after yesterday.
Spider-Man one more day, right?
One last day.
Or brand new day.
Brand new day. Okay, so you guys have recorded all about it and talked about it. We'll get into, I'm sure we'll share a few more thoughts between the three of us. I just went to go see it. Like I said, it was less than 24 hours ago that I even left the theater. And so we finally got a chance to go to see another movie. Project Hail Mary was the last one we saw this year. Maybe we'll see one more this year in the theater would be my guess. But this was one because you guys clearly, I kind of suspected that you guys were going to talk pretty highly of it. And that's great and everything. And just like, it's a Spider-Man movie. It's, I've liked most of them, especially like I really like Homecoming and I really, oh my God.
That's right.
No Way Home.
No Way Home.
No Way Home. No, I don't like Far From Home.
What about it's Far From Home that you don't like, and it's No Way Home that you pretty much we all did like.
Yeah, so, we all liked it. Yeah, it's a fun time, right? Yeah. So I was like, I gotta see this. I also was. What's that?
Episode 119 when we reviewed No Way Home.
119. Look at you. I should have that pulled up.
It's like every 100 episodes or so we should have a Spider-Man.
A Spider-Man. Maybe they're doing it just for us. Yeah. Yeah, so like, and I was also very interested to see what they were going to do because it feels like it's been a little bit since we've had these Spider-Man movies to be like, and it was such a monumental thing that happened last time with Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Let's see what's going on here, how they're going to handle it and everything. So it was enough for me to say, let's go see this instead of the Odyssey. That was basically the choice. There was a couple screenings that were playing at about the same time. And we went for this, and the wife was like, "Yeah, let's
find a 70mm IMAX to go."
Dude, there's no IMAX anywhere close to me. Like I have to drive. I mean, I can drive half an hour, but I was like, we're too tired. We're too tired.
Did Power see the Odyssey? I think not.
No.
Power hasn't seen his last movie.
Well, my thoughts are out there on the Back in My Day channel. So
still haven't seen Barbie.
Nerdy movie review.
Yeah, still haven't even seen Barbie 3 years later or whatever. Yeah, and Oppenheimer. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, enough rambling. I'll get to it. Spider-Man: Brand New Day is how do I put this? A very good movie. How about that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. It's a lot of fun. It was a lot longer than I thought it was going to be.
I can breathe.
Yeah, you can breathe. Yeah. Don't worry. Yeah. You don't have to drink as much. That's we don't have to have as many beers. Yeah.
I've just been waiting to hear what you thought about this movie.
Yeah, that's totally fine. And I didn't want to. I even told you guys before I went. I'm like, I'm not saying anything until we hit or behind it, even if it was like 2 weeks from now. Yeah. So the movie's only been out a week. It's made a shit ton of money. I'm very surprised at how much money it's making, but I'll get into that in a sec as to why I think that might be. But I think there's a lot of aspects of this movie that are very well done. There's some that I don't think matter or I didn't care for or whatever, but it's still a good time. It handles Peter Parker really well, which I personally don't think Parker has been great until, as you guys know, I like the way, maybe it's not written well, but I do like Andrew Garfield's portrayal of Peter Parker. He has the sensibility, the attitude, the snark. Thankfully, even the Spider-Man part of this, I always found that Tom Holland's take or the writing around his version of Spider-Man has always been like, he's not quippy enough to me. Spider-Man
needs more like surprise at everything.
Woo, jazz hands, surprise. Yeah, like
and Garfield looks the most like Spider-Man will walk out of the comics, or Peter Parker walking.
Yeah, all those things, the embodiment of Peter Parker has always worked better for me in his portrayal of it, despite those movies not being great. Tom Holland has never really been great to me. I've obviously enjoyed most of the movies. but I'm there for the ride of the movie rather than him in particular. Here, partially because of the story and partially because of what he does in this movie, it's a lot better. This is for sure his best version of Spider-Man and Peter Parker, I think.
He
I
finally
think
gets to be Peter Parker living in New York, right?
yeah, and that's part of it, right? Like for me,
Kind of.
yeah, kind of. But
Some
I think
parts missing.
for the most part, I would say. But I think for me, what I like about this, and I think the Amazing Spider-Man ones are a little bit like this, if my memory serves correct. But Mike, you mentioned how Supergirl feels a little too low stakes at some points with it. This, to me, other than one particular character, which we'll get into in a little bit, but other than that particular scenario that happens towards the end of the movie, everything else does feel a little bit low stakes. And I actually prefer that. I actually like that it doesn't feel mostly, I would say, for
Small
70.
potatoes.
Yeah, small potatoes. Yeah, exactly. It feels
Great
like
Paul.
it feels like medium potatoes, and I like that.
These are some meager potatoes.
Yeah.
We need some big potatoes.
Yeah, I actually, now that I think about it, that's what Homecoming is, and that's not what No Way Home is. But the moments where it is smaller, I like it better that way. And I know this has to sort of set off another couple of chain reactions for more movies and stuff. And I still think that part was handled well because it doesn't feel too obvious. It doesn't feel like it's like, here's the obvious woo moment at the end, credits. Like it doesn't do that. And I like that about the movie. And for the vast majority of it, or at least a good chunk of it, it's not that movie. It's not, let's kick off the next phase of the MCU. It is Spider-Man doing it. And especially that opening 20 minutes to half hour. It is all that. And it is done really, really well, especially at the beginning. The sort of montage, I guess you could call it, over the course of 3 or 4 years is done really, really well. I think that...
And you said you didn't watch the trailer, or you did?
I watched the first one, the very first one. That's it.
Okay, so some of the shots were there, and Power and I looked at each other like, everything from the trailer has been done.
It's in the
first
beginning.
20 minutes, so we don't know what's going to happen now.
And there was one shot in particular with MJ, Spider-Man, and Punisher, where he goes to meet him, and he's like talking up on the rafters to him or whatever. In the trailer, I'm pretty sure MJ's eliminated from that shot. I'm pretty sure. Okay. I have to watch it again, but I don't remember her standing there because that would kind of just spoil something.
Give away.
Yeah, because you're 2/3 to the movie,
these,
and yeah.
If they were consistently good at making teasers and then not spoiling the rest of the film, we could watch them and then just forget about them. But I think the thing about the trailers, if you watch them over and over, you're gonna think about them when you watch the movie. That's the problem.
Yeah. So overall thoughts, good movie, great movie. Like I think it's a really solid movie. It's a lot of fun. Did not feel the runtime at all, which is great because sometimes that really, you start going over 2 hours or hit 2 hours, sometimes feels like you're drawing things out. But I maybe it
we
could
didn't even mention the runtime of Supergirl. It was very short.
It was short. Yeah, I think it was under 2 hours or right at 2 hours, I think. So, and this was, I think, just over. Maybe 2:15.
Yeah, 2 and 20 minutes.
Yeah, something like that. But it didn't feel that way. I think maybe they could have shortened it towards the end a little bit, but I kind of understand the sort of a couple moments at the end we'll get into. But overall, good movie. And then we can just get into the spoilers of details and stuff as to if you guys want to throw questions at me.
I want to ask
kind
a
of
question
idea.
to you.
Then we'll do that.
I want to ask. You went in not knowing who Sadie Sink was playing, and it didn't get spoiled, right?
I didn't even know she was in the movie. I had no idea.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had no idea.
More blind because me and Ian were trying to guess who she was.
When she started talking, I was like, I know that voice. What is that voice? I know that voice.
So whenever
the first moment where they sort of show her like silhouette, I guess, like in the car or whatever it was. I was like,
you didn't know.
Okay.
Yeah. So, no, I had no idea.
I was like, okay, so it's a woman.
Vecna,
that's cool. But
Max.
yeah, I didn't even know she was in the movie. I had no idea.
Me and Ian before the movie said we were like, okay, who's the villain? Because we felt like they hadn't revealed the real villain yet, and who's Sadie Sink playing? And we had no idea that they were going to be the same character.
Right.
And so when did you piece together that it was Jean Grey? Were you? Or she was Jean Grey. I guess even if you didn't know she was in it, maybe
just
you didn't know all of the names.
So what happened was, I mean, the name drop just confirmed it, but that type of character as to what was happening, like, okay, so this isn't, because what was happening in the movie is at first they're like, oh, maybe you're invisible and you're jumping between people's heads and you're like a goat. Like what does Black Widow say?
Have
She's
you
like,
seen Fallen
it's a
with Denzel
ghost or something.
Washington?
She's like, oh, maybe it's a ghost.
Exactly like Stephen King novel, Fallen.
Yeah. Like it kind of felt like, and I'm like, who does that? Like what?
I was racking my brain. Which Spider-Man villain possesses people? Like I was,
or just what villain
that.
in general? Because I'm like, maybe it's an MCU tie-in from somewhere else or whatever. And I'm like, I don't know. And other than like the obvious picks, I wouldn't know a deep cut. So I was like, maybe it's a deep cut, and that's cool. I'm happy with that as long as it's handled well. That's cool. And then they start piecing things together a little bit of like, oh, it's some sort of mind control thing, or they say some version of that, and I go, okay, so it's mind control. So it's not the first person is the professor. Obviously, it's not that, or at least I would assume it's not that. And then from there, I automatically think, oh, Jean is the other person that's super powerful. But I'm like,
yeah.
I don't know, like
go
maybe
Emma
I
Frost,
guess,
but
and then I
that'd
see a woman with red hair. I'm like, oh, it's Jean Grey.
Yeah.
That's it.
I was
So-
100% convinced that they weren't going to use like a mutant character in a Sony property, to the point
Right.
that I didn't believe it until they said the name, and I was
Right.
like, okay, now I believe it. But like, I was convinced. I was like, there's no way you're gonna like. And Marvel or Disney just bought Fox back and got the rights to all these characters. There's no freaking way they're gonna let the first time one of these characters are used in a Sony movie. Like I was just convinced. So they got me. I think it was.
They got you,
love.
bitch.
Yeah, they got Dave, were you on board with that reveal?
I like it. I think it's really cool. I don't know. The only thing I really like, the only thing I really know is that when she's Phoenix, she's bad, evil, whatever, something like whatever you want to call it, right? Like she's not the X-Men Jean that you automatically think of, or most people would automatically think of. So I do think that there's a little bit of more backstory, hand-holding, stuff like that that's going to need to be done going forward for people to be like, well, I thought she was an X-Men, but she's not really also the villain of this movie, which I thought was interesting. So I think
No, she's the antagonist.
Yeah, so what I think is what I liked about her and how they handled her is they don't draw attention to the fact that she's who we know she is. X-Men,
Right.
Professor X, like all of that stuff is not obvious, even hinted at. They don't even say X-Men or mutant or anything anywhere in the
They
movie.
don't say mutant, they say like mutation.
Yeah. So all of that stuff I think is great, because if you don't know, it's probably just going to add to your enjoyment of how they handle her later. So I think in a way, going in extra blind is probably even better, or knowing nothing about who Jean is even better, because like you could have zero idea who the X-Men are, or have no idea that she's connected to them and just know that she's a mutant and that's it. Be like, oh my God, it's connected to that. And then they're going to like, you know, the professor's going to show up and Wolverine's going to show, and all this stuff, you know, Cable's going to pop in next movie or something. And it's going to be like this crazy thing. Cool. I think that's going to be super cool for people that are in that position. I'm kind of jealous in a way, honestly.
Yeah.
So I think she was handled well. Her powers look cool. Her attitude was cool. Like the story behind it was good. The reveals of the vent above her was awesome. I thought that was so good.
VMAX.
I was racking my brain. What's VMAX? I've heard that. I was like, I think I've heard that before.
I was like,
comics,
what? Who?
And I was
what,
trying to go through my mind.
I was also trying to think of like a character
herring
that starts with V, and Max would be something about like their powers or something. Like, who the fuck has a name with V, starts with V? Like I couldn't. And then the new was her. I was like, is there an X-Men that starts with V? Like, what am I looking for here? That was great. That was great.
What I really like about the Jean Grey reveal is this introduction to the new X-Men in the MCU is like done via a Spider-Man movie, which is so like back in my day, you know, Saturday morning cartoons kind of style.
Yes.
But also like the actual story of it. So when we're trying to figure it out, and it's like, oh, is the internet right? Is it Jean Grey? But like it's kind of not what we're used to with her power set, right? But then the reveal of this is actually Jean Grey's origin. This is the first time you're going to hear about how she got her powers, and it's happening right now in Spider-Man Brand New Day. Like she literally went from I'm copying my sister's abilities to, oh my God, this trauma is crushing, and now I'm unleashing my true power.
Yeah, she gets some telekinesis.
So my question to you guys, based on this origin thing, is okay. First thing I noticed, obviously, she's younger than what you would normally assume they come in with the X-Men with. I know, what's it called? First day, whatever. What's it called?
First Class had some
First
younger
Class. They're younger, whatever. I like that movie. It's fun. It's good. Those couple movies are fun. But so she's younger. She's 20, whatever she's supposed to be, or something like that, right? Does that mean to you guys that one, she's like the first X-Men or first X person or whatever, and she's going to turn into this person that trains with the professor and whatever, or are they not really doing that with her? And this origin story, I don't know anything about her background or origin story. I don't know those stories. Is what they showed usually where she comes from, like that kind of idea? I didn't even know she had a sister. Is that usually there? I have no idea. I don't know how that works.
The sister comes up, and I want to hear Mike's interpretation of that because it's really interesting. But I'll just say real quick, Sarah Gray pops up in Uncanny X-Men number 136, and I think like I would lean towards the first option you're saying, because I think at the end of the movie you could very literally interpret it that she's on a bus heading towards like northern upstate New York. Like let's go to Professor X's
let's go to the
school
mansion
for gifted youngsters. She could very well be on her way there. That could be a direct correlation, or it could just be like she's ready to move on and now she could become the X-Men that we know. But what I really think is like it's just setting up the idea, but really we're not going to get to the full-blown new X-Men in the MCU until after like the Avengers Doomsday and Avengers
sequence. Yeah. It's going to be a couple years. Yeah. Which
is really just like introducing the idea, and then when they do bring out the X-Men, there's already that foundation of like, oh yeah, through the multiverse we know she's the Jean Grey of the X-Men.
Yes. Yeah. I think they play with the origin story a little bit with her being like a foster parent, the sister having. I don't think the sister had powers. It's all made up for the movie, I believe. But her being young, like it makes me think that because they're kids, they're high school kids in the first.
They're supposed to be young, right? Yeah.
And the first team is Marvel Girl, which is Jean Grey, Cyclops, Beast, Iceman, and Angel. And so it makes me think that they cast her young. It makes me think that they're doing the original team. They're gonna do the original team, and they're gonna be young, like teenager-ish. And
I hope they do that.
That would be cool.
I hope they do it without Wolverine, because the last iteration was centered all around Wolverine.
Then you don't have to have
just
Wolverine.
Do it without Wolverine, and then you can bring him
Beast,
in later.
Before the fur, you can have Angel before he goes Archangel.
Give me more Beast. I love that character. I love Beast.
And then Cyclops and Iceman. Cyclops and Jean Grey have been done a lot, but like Iceman, I don't think has his due yet. I don't think Beast really, or Angel. So I think that would be the way to go.
Angel was handed.
Yeah, I'll have to see if Drake's available to do that next movie. He could be the Iceman.
Imagine they did that. That would actually be
oh my god,
kind of a joke, but kind of hilarious.
Age him.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. So I think that. So what's so cool was because I didn't even really. I don't know. Did they even hint at her sister in the other movies? I don't even know if they do.
No, it's like it's a new thread, but it is based on real comics. So 136 reveals that she had a sister, Sarah.
Yeah. So what was funny was in the movie, they made such. I mean, they show you why they focus in on the scrunchie that her sister has when she's like walking in the park.
Is the color scheme?
The color scheme, and I was like, oh. That's the color scheme of either Rogue or Jubilee. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I thought they were doing this thing.
It's Dark Phoenix. It's like Jean Grey's colors from the...
She's yellow and green.
But also Dark Phoenix adopts that same color scheme.
So I don't really know that. So I was like, oh, that color scheme is this. And then she like gets captured and dies. I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I hope
I had this 2 minutes of like, oh, that's crazy. That's cool. Cause I'm not bringing the comics with me right into it. So, the other thing too is, the one thing that really bugged me about this movie was, can they stop with the whole like faking I'm doing live things on Instagram and TikTok stuff? Like, oh my God, it's so bad.
Oh, just like when he's watching the videos?
When he's watching the videos and like just the unnatural nature, like it's not the character's fault. I don't know if it's a sponsorship with Instagram that they had to include them in there. It doesn't matter what the reason is. Like some sort of, meta money that they're sort of infusing.
The sponsorships were wild. The product placement was wild.
They're pretty bad. I hate that. Yeah, I hate it.
Little Caesars Pizza? Like what New Yorker is eating Little Caesars Pizza? Come on.
Exactly. Yeah, when you live in Queens and you're like living in a shitty old apartment. It's stupid.
Can I say something about that moment though? I think like no matter how they got there, showing that like he's really having to live his life without his best
Yes,
friends
is
and
good.
family. Like
Again, that
he's been alone this entire time, and like him kind of creeping on them a little bit is like it is realistic, but it's just not how they carried it out. Is really
yeah, no, honestly, it is very specific to the video things that Ned's doing that I'm just like, this is so fucking lame.
yeah.
That's all. I mean, it's
I
very
did like
nitpicky.
how he's like following him going out to a party. He's
What
like, imagine watching your boy just go
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
across the
He's
street
a
and buy
fucking
beers
creeper.
and be like, oh, I'm gonna show up to this party
Energy
and
drink.
party with this guy.
Yeah.
I want to know what Dave thought of the Punisher
Okay,
and the other
right.
MCU characters.
So that's a good place to go to, because I haven't watched the
I
little
specifically want to know how you felt. Like, was it good for the story, or was it more just to serve the MCU?
right. That's totally fair, and that kind of makes sense because he's always a secondary character. He's not whatever. So first of all, okay. My thing with that actor is I don't love him in most things he does.
John Bernthal?
Yeah, he bugs me. He's great he's great for this character. He's got the look, he's got the attitude, the delivery.
You just don't want the Punisher showing up in the Odyssey and vice versa.
Yeah, right. He's in that too. Yeah, maybe when I watch the Odyssey, I'm gonna be like, oh fuck this guy. I don't know. I typically, there's just a certain.
Listen, Dave, let me tell you something. Let me tell
so
you
like
something.
you know what's actually even what's funny
Yeah,
too is
Take
what's his face? Oh my god, now I forget the actor's name in
Ruffalo?
No, not even in this movie. What the fucking guy that comes in and Parks and Rec, and he's like, Jesus, what's his name? He's like comes in as like the regional whatever. He's supposed to do all the corrective things in the office or what?
Oh, Adam Scott.
No, his boss. What's his name?
Rob Lowe.
Name? Rob Lowe.
Rob Lowe.
Rob Lowe bugs me, but then he's in that show and he is unbelievable, and he's like my
he's
favorite
amazing in the
character,
show.
right?
Yeah.
Like there's certain things where like if you work for that character, I'm all in. That's what this is for me here. He is great for this
he's
character.
born
He
for that
does a good
character.
job. He's amazing in The Bear. He is perfect for that character there. But he's also kind of playing the same guy in a way. He
Right.
just has guns.
Yeah, that's
so
fair.
okay. So your question is like what I think about him. He's great. He does a good job in it. What I do like about the fact that he's in a Spider-Man movie, whether I know that this usually happens or not, is they are polar opposites. And I think that works. The only issue I have with it is that feels like he's just always there when he doesn't need to be. It's like he's inserting himself into these situations. When he goes to him and says, hey, take care of MJ, that's fine. Now he's involved. I get that. But like, why did he show up previously? Or why is he inserting himself into the situation at the end of the movie? MJ saying something to him wasn't enough for him to be like, I'm busting out the coolest sniper that I guess I can see 700 feet away from me now suddenly.
It's because of
like,
the Staten Island incident.
Because he's the Punisher, man. He acts like a tough guy, but really he's just broken and sad.
Sure,
and,
man.
you know,
Sure.
He wants a family.
I saw you cry. I mean, that
It's
seems
his little
good.
brother.
I like that.
Yeah, it's like his little brother.
Listen.
Yeah.
It all works for me because you get those moments in the hospital at the end where it's
the hospital stuff's great.
I felt a lot of the emotional moments actually came from stuff with Frank Castle. So
yes,
interesting.
absolutely. Yeah.
And they're good friends outside of.
That's what I've read
just
too.
Carried over
Yeah.
movie so well. Like a lot of their lines were improvised apparently, and that the chemistry was like palpable between
the crying thing. Like I'm sure it was written in there, like, oh, shed a tear or look like you're crying or whatever. I'm sure some of that back and forth would have been filmed 5 or 6 times, and some of it would have been used as
I would think so,
semi improvised. You know, like because it just kind of it does feel pretty natural, which is great. The other thing too is the scene where he shows up to say like, here, help, I need you to help MJ. And they're like quipping at each other and stuff. Well, he's like, I got fucking chili.
I can
like,
see why you like
that was great.
Yeah.
It's great. Cause he's like he very much, he does a really good job, just like in The Bear, does a good job of playing this loudmouth, stereotypical New York Italian guy. And he nails that part of it. And that back and forth between them feels, again, pretty natural. And I think that's why the character works. I don't know why they chose to keep talking about this Staten Island thing when I have no idea what the fuck that even is.
I love that. That's very.
But what is it?
It didn't matter to me. Like it was just the fact that they knew each other and they're saying this is why. Like one of the incidents they've ran into each other, Spider-Man actually saved his life, and it's a matter of interpretation. He thinks he would have been fine, whatever.
I guess because
I love that aspect.
Yeah.
I don't know. I say Dave.
I like that Dave picked up
the
the Punisher's Italian.
Of course they
yeah.
did.
Frank
course they did.
Castiglione. Like they shortened it to Frank Castle, but he's Italian. Yeah,
Is that actually his name?
You got that.
Castiglione?
You nailed it.
I didn't know that.
But you mentioned your issue with the Punisher. My only issue with the Punisher in Spider-Man: Brand New Day is actually issue number 129 from the Amazing Spider-Man, because that is when the Punisher is introduced.
Yes.
And I thought it was done brilliantly here, stringing along that idea of the Punisher did come from Amazing Spider-Man book where he's trying to kill him and he's pointing the target right on him. So they worked that into it. But also the relationship they had in the Spider-Man animated series. I liked all of that, and I actually wanted them to take it one step further, which we could talk about it too, with the mutations. I wanted to see the 6-armed Peter Parker.
Oh, so that okay, we'll get to that in a sec. Yeah, we'll get to that in a sec, because that's definitely what
I love John Bernthal. I think he is Punisher just how Hugh Jackman is Wolverine, and
I don't disagree with that at
Robert
all.
Downey Jr. is Iron Man.
It's true.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I think he is the guy for that role, and because he plays it well. Like, if he did a shitty job and it wasn't written well, then that's a different story. But those things don't exist in this portrayal of the character, and it's great. So yeah, keep him coming. So, the other thing too is, I guess all the MJ stuff was pretty good. You know, I like her.
I wanted to ask, how did your audience react with the kiss? Our audience went nuts. Like our audience.
Our audience was on another level. Like they were all on drugs.
Yeah, it was the Wednesday night preview show. It was like no one. Yeah. It was Die Hard.
That guy beside you, Power. Was
he was
absolutely unhinged.
He went through.
He was like on the floor.
Stages of grief in the movie. I swear to God.
So I had so this is so funny. I can't believe I forgot about this. My favorite part of this movie was not the guy right beside me, but the 7-year-old that was beside him. That was his kid or his nephew or something. Was unbelievable. He did not scream. He didn't make a big fuss. He wasn't one of those people that sort of ruins the show for everybody else. You know, he was like a pretty cool kid. Like, he was very well behaved and stuff. But the comments he was making were not only like super cute and really funny and stuff at points, but like a lot of it was clearly this kid has seen all these movies. Because when the kiss happened, oh my God, best part of the movie is me and the wife just started laughing. We were like on each other's shoulders, like trying to hold back our laughter. He goes, oh, it's the Spider-Man kiss, but he's not upside down.
It's actually so good because
I was like, oh my God, this kid has seen the movie. It's amazing.
He knows Toby. He's a
7-year-old
knows. The 7-year-olds know Toby. The 7-year-olds are gonna be all right.
They're gonna be okay.
Gonna be all right.
And the dad or the uncle, whatever, older brother, I couldn't really tell. I couldn't tell what the guy's age was or whatever. Was reacting the same way we were the whole movie. He was like, ha ha ha, or like poking at him or whatever. It was
and I think
unreal,
that's the best
man.
way to see a movie like this. Like, take your nephews and just
it was so good. The fact that he knew exactly what that would have been if you just turned
and then when the
Spider-Man upside down.
Happened, was he devastated?
So I don't know if he picked up on everything in that moment. So I don't know. He didn't say anything of that context in there, but that alone made that whole scene for me. So it doesn't even matter what happened next. So my screening was most, I would say, like half full or whatever, but I went at, I don't know, 7:30 on a Saturday, and there was like a couple other screens at the same time or similar. So there was people at the theater, but it wasn't like a packed house or something. But there was no like super enthusiastic reaction to the movie. It was just one of those very typical, mostly quiet screenings and stuff. So
it's been a while since I've
grown men on the floor weeping.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen a movie like opening night with a packed house. It does bring the energy. Like when they kissed, people were like hooting and hollering, like, "Whoa!"
Really, it was crazy.
Whoa, applause.
That's nuts.
And then she started talking, and everyone was like, "No." Everyone was like going through it.
Like in real time, you hear people's thoughts out loud.
Yeah. So my thought process in that was, they're gonna drop this already. Like I thought it felt too soon.
Yes. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
So it's great that they didn't do that. I thought that was really cool.
That's one of my strengths on the movie as a whole, is that they commit to the bit with the whole spell.
Yes. That is good, because it's very easy for them to just, shoehorn things in and retcon it and stuff, because they've done that before. And in some ways you can get away with it and like, it's just a fun thing. But I think the decision and what happened before and all that is a big thing. You can't just drop it.
Yeah.
And
Spider-Man
they
has
handled
to be
that well.
tragic, and you
Yeah.
got to torture. You got
He's got to
Hey,
have
they got
issues,
me.
man. He's got to have
Gotta-
issues.
Yeah.
So
They got me. I was talking power. They Mysterio'd me because I should have noticed. But when she's swinging through the air on the way to the rooftop, it's very calm, cool, and collected. And you're like, wait a second. Zendaya is usually freaked out. I mean, MJ is usually freaked out when she's swinging through the air. And so it's only after the reveal when you're like, see, they did that on purpose.
But
to like,
also, I think
kind of
it's
clue
that
you in.
scene. I think it's that scene because I think it's when he's carrying her, or maybe it's when he's on the way to Punisher's place or whatever. But because he's still struggling with the new webs, he's like, "Web, stop, web, stop," and he's like whispering to himself. It's like, this is hilarious.
Let's talk about the mutation aspect. Like, I want to know.
Yeah, let's go to
what
that.
you thought about
So
all that.
I was like, I poked the wife after a while, like towards the end when he was going to fight the hand, and like I could see clearly it's building up and it's going to be this whole thing or whatever, right? Cool fight. Watching the hand in general is just cool to see how they did that. I was like, watch this, because I thought he was going to grow a couple arms.
Oh, yeah, that would have been sick.
I thought that's what was going to happen. It was like, watch what, like I literally
Yeah.
sat there. I'm like, watch what happens next. Not that it's not cool.
Imagine
But I would've-
Jean had to use her
but
abilities.
if he just went
bring
like-
the armors back in and like, bring them back to normal.
It's
Yeah,
weird
that
that
would be
MJ is
crazy.
telling him like embrace the mutation kind of thing. Like I don't think it's gonna end well. I thought
Yeah,
it was gonna
so
go full man spider, but it didn't.
It did. Maybe
They're
they'll
leaving
get there.
something back. They're leaving a few things back. I
Yeah,
feel.
maybe they'll get there
I
eventually.
think
and
if
stuff,
they
so-
eventually did it, though, it would be pretty cool.
I think they will. I think they
Will,
might, and
yeah.
like it'll be like a Venom situation, and symbiote situation. I think, right?
They should mix those two
Um,
storylines. Have him go man spider and get the suit.
Wild.
I don't know if they hint at any of that in trailers and stuff, but I hope they don't. That something like that happens. I know they show like a shot of him maybe punching the hand or something like that, like in that scene, or maybe that's even from the beginning when they show it. I can't remember what shot they use.
I think we should talk about the visuals because when you talk about that whole sequence with the hand,
And
it was like, yes, in the style of like certain kung fu movies, like, there's a certain flow and unison to it. But this
Yep.
was also the fact that she was Jean, like a very story
they were acting as
related
one.
point. Like
Yeah.
Jean Grey is linked
Cool.
all of them, so they're moving in unison. And then, of course, when he makes the choice to be both Spider-Man and Peter Parker, and he can master kind of switching it on and off, he uses the aggression, expels it out, pushes the guy out, and then saves him with the webbing, and he's Peter Parker.
Oh
again.
yeah,
It's
just
like,
yeah.
he can kind of go back and forth. It's pretty cool.
I think the whole like him on his knees and be like, I'm both. I'm like, oh god, what is this? Like 1995? Like, come on, let's. Like
It
it
was
just
a bit
felt
cheesy.
It is so
Him-
cheesy, so cheesy.
I was gonna my letterbox review. I was gonna do, but I did a longer. I was gonna do a short one, and it was gonna be like it took him 4 movies, but he's finally as strong as Toby. That's what I was gonna say.
the best
Yeah.
one of the best parts too is when he first starts trying to figure it out, and it's like just spewing out of it,
Peter
and he's
too.
like,
Yeah.
like he's ready to throw up.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
It's so
Great.
He mentioned
Love
Peter too.
He's
Yes,
like,
he
"Oh,
mentioned-
Peter
yeah.
three, organic
Peter,
webbing."
Peter
Yeah.
too had it. It must be okay, like or something like that. I was like, oh, that's great. Yeah. So like, there's little things like that that are fun.
But I
think.
feel like and I got
um,
very much when he turned mutation at the beginning when he almost killed that cop or whatever.
Yeah.
It was very throwback to the animated series, but when he gets the symbiote and he gets stronger,
Oh,
but
he
he
does
can't
that too?
control it. That happens
Yeah.
in the animated
Like when he's
series.
going ham on Scorpion, that was
Yeah,
very Black
and
Suit
Rhino.
Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Like, yeah.
that-
obviously
Because-
obviously good to
Yeah.
see what's his face back as Scorpion too. That guy's just a great actor. He fits that role perfectly and stuff too, which is fun. I thought the other thing, I don't know if you have you guys played the you guys haven't played the
I
Spider-Man
was gonna mention
video
that.
game?
Yes,
I've played
I
the
have. Yes, I have.
Insomniac games, yeah.
Beat
Oh, you
them.
did?
Yep.
So much stuff in this movie.
So much.
So
Yeah, I thought you
much
would like that.
greatness from
Yeah.
those
So
games,
much
yeah.
stuff. Dude, all the fucking guards look and have weapons that are exactly the same.
Well, let's put it this
Preston
way.
Daniel Cretton has to
If
be a gamer. He has to.
Spider-Man
Must
wasn't
be.
a comic book movie by way of like the original comics. It was definitely the best video game based movie I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I was like, if the suit had more, like, had some white on it or whatever, I'm like, oh, this is just, they're just doing another version of,
All the little parkour moves and everything. right?
parkour
It was
moves.
all
He
inspired by
he
the
takes
video
down
game.
some of the enemies exactly the same
with
way.
the tank with the web grenades.
The tank thing, and the other thing too is when I think it's at one point when he has the extra, or maybe it's even the Scorpion fight where he like launches himself up and then stomps down
Right,
on
Scorpion
someone
fight, yeah.
Right.
right from the second Spider-Man game. Like exactly the same thing you do
Yep.
when you have some of the, I don't know if Miles does that or if when you have the symbiote stuff, that's one of the moves that you have is
I
that
think it's the
specific
symbiote
one.
one, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is because it's more aggressive or whatever, right? So I like I was like, is this stuff from the game? And then I saw the guards with like the blue baton things. I'm like, oh my god,
Yeah.
this is a fucking video game. This is amazing.
Well, in a
So
way, the mutation aspect of this story was brilliant because it wasn't just how do we explore another change that Peter Parker's going through, but one that's specific to, okay, now we're gonna have to reach out to Bruce Banner. We're gonna have to look at
Oh, yeah,
other
we've talked about
characters
that too.
already in the
Yeah.
MCU that mutate, and how am I gonna incorporate? So it makes sense that he would go to Banner in that way, and it
does.
makes sense with the Jean Grey aspect and how they can kind of connect on both having to deal with like next level mutations.
Yeah. So it's cool that he goes to Banner. I always like seeing Ruffalo in that character. I always like the version of the Hulk that they have. Like I think he looks cool. He's always had a good look. I don't know if it's like the CGI of the face structure and the body. Like they've just done a good job with him in general. Always like seeing him. That scene in the Department of Control. What is it? What's it called again?
Damage control.
Oh, damage control.
Damage control. First of all, Mr. Milchick's in it, so that's awesome. That's great.
Yes, I was waiting
Good
for
to
you
see
say
him.
We haven't mentioned him yet.
We
though.
just
Yeah.
in our review, we just called him Mr. Milchick because it was
Yeah.
something with an M, and he's just Mr. Milchick. I
It's
don't know
Milchick,
what-
yeah. Great.
something
He
else
does
with
a
an
good
M.
job, plays the character well.
Yeah.
But it
He's
plays on
great.
what you were saying between the villain and antagonist, because he's actually the ultimate villain.
He's
of
pretty
the
much
movie.
the villain, which I do like that too. And you kind of have to interpret it that way in some ways, depending on how you watch the movie or see the characters or whatever. Cool. I like that. But that scene with her trying to break in, you hear the banging. I'm like, oh, she got the Hulk. Like I right when I heard the banging, I'm like, oh, that's what they did. That's
I
why.
felt bad for Power actually, because Power, the guy that was a mess next to you, he yelled out Hulk, and I was like, "What are you
Yeah.
doing, bro?"
No, don't do that. Yeah. Anyways, that was good too. That was one of the scenes where I was like, "Oh, this is cool that the Punisher's here." I thought that he was a good addition to that scene. That's
He was
a
great when
very
he's like blasting at Hulk.
yeah. He's like dragging him behind. He's like, "Ah!" Are you just trying to get out fighting the Hulk?
The
Yeah,
the
kinda,
acting
yeah.
choice that Barenthal makes to always scream when he's shooting was
Yeah.
just genius.
Or when
It's
he's
good.
wearing the mask.
Dude, when he's wearing the mask in the hospital,
that was
and
the
he's like,
best,
"Ooh,
yeah.
ooh," he's like a gorilla, like he's like, "Ooh." It's so funny, and it's really, really quick too, which is great.
I want
Also-
to
yeah,
ask
go
you
ahead,
something
Mike.
about the ending because I saw
Yeah.
this theory online.
Okay,
When he's doing that, he's doing this hoo hoo hoo, and then Peter is in the crowd,
they go back to the crowd.
and
Yeah.
he turns to some kid.
Yes, I was just gonna say
is,
this.
Is that
Yes.
kid being possessed by Jean?
Oh, that's not what I was gonna say.
That is the prevailing theory on the internet.
Oh, yeah,
it's Jean and him nodding at one another. But I thought it was just a kid and him acknowledging the kid.
Ian, what's
because he
your
does the
take on that?
thwip?
Because I have an idea on that. So what do you? What?
Well, mine's very simple. I do see what you're saying, Power. I think that's a very like internet tinfoil hat theory, but I just think it was a kid that was looking
kid?
at Spider-Man and saying,
Okay,
anyone
so
can wear
I
the mask
actually
kind of
have the
thing.
most out there
Let's hear it. Let's
thought
get
on
reckless.
that too. So one, the crowd cheering and stuff is something you see in one of those Spider-Man games too. People wearing different outfits and whatever. Like that's a thing, especially in the second one, right? There's moments of that, which is kind of fun to see. I mean, it's just a Spider-Man thing in general, but it reminded me of the games. I think that kid might be Miles.
Oh,
That's the first thing I thought. Because this might sound bad, but
Our
this might
theater
s-
thought Miles was the guy that Jean inhabited in the streets of
Yes,
New
they
York.
did.
It's just like,
Was
oh my
screaming,
god.
Oh yeah.
That's
No,
not
I
Miles.
actually think I
younger.
know that this version of Spidey, he's probably, I guess, based on when they went to college and school and stuff, he's probably 24, 25.
He's supposed to be around 13 when he becomes Spider-Man.
Peter is. No, Miles.
No, Miles is even younger than Peter was. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's
so
saying Tom Holland's Peter is
Tom
about
Holland
24.
is like mid-20s, I think,
Yeah.
right? That's kind of
Yeah.
where he's sort of be playing the age
university
based
age,
on finishing college and stuff. Yeah. Miles, I don't know if the quote unquote supposed to be 10 years younger, 15 years younger. I don't know that for sure. I can't remember exactly, but you know, they can play with age, obviously. But I was like, okay, this sounds bad, but I was like, well, that kid looks like he could be Hispanic.
Yeah, that's fair.
And
No,
he's
listen,
a big
like-
Spider-Man fan, and Miles is a Spider-Man fan. right? Like he
You have
knows
to believe
Spider-Man.
they're seeding it. They have to believe they are.
They have
Tom
to
Holland
do it
said
at
he
some
Like
has.
point.
everyone's on Miles Morales watch, so you're not
Yeah.
wrong there.
And Tom
Like,
Holland said, "I have an idea of what I want to do when I leave the
does he?
character. I
Okay.
want to pass it on." And I'm like,
Yeah.
it's gonna
Which he
be
should at
Miles.
some point, and that's totally fine. And the Miles character is a very interesting one. Like it'll be fun to watch that.
I would love if they did it sort
so-
of the way they did in the game, where they just like introduce Miles as a character, but like do nothing with him in Spider-Man for a whole movie.
Yeah, agreed.
Until
Yeah.
the second
Slow
game,
down.
and then you're like, oh, you're Miles. Yeah.
Because then
Yeah,
once
yeah.
you introduce him, this is the thing that the comics have. Once you kind of introduce him, like he's there forever. So
Yes.
it's like you should take your time and slow play
and
it
like
and,
literally forever. Like he is
give it-
always Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he will be the next Spider-Man forever. So you
Yeah.
gotta you gotta slow play it, and they probably want to milk some more money out of Tom Holland as Spider-Man until they go.
Oh,
that way.
But also
And
do
they
it in
can,
a way
'cause he's
that
not super old,
legitimizes
so-
the legacy, right?
Yes,
Like you
yeah.
can
Yeah.
do it in a similar way. Honestly, the blueprint is right there with Into the Spider-Verse, so
Yep.
they could do it.
Well,
in a
yeah, that's the
similar
thing
way.
is those movies do such a good job with it, where it's just like, okay, it doesn't have to be the exact same. Obviously, it's not going to be as stylized for obvious reasons, but like, I don't. That literally was the first thing that came to mind. I was like, oh, just
So not Gene though, not Gene. You didn't think Gene. People
No,
thought it was
no, no,
Gene.
What
no,
I
well,
People thought
well,
it was
I'll
just
put it out
Gene.
here. If we're doing irresponsible speculation,
You did
I will
the-
put mine out there.
no. The Gene
Um,
thing did not even occur to me. Literally, it was just
Me
Miles.
neither.
It's the
Me neither.
first thing that came to mind. Yeah.
For my irresponsible speculation, I'm just gonna say that like if I wanted them to do it similar to Into the Spider-Verse, but not quite the same, do the clone saga with Peter Parker, and then have a blonde Peter Parker get killed, and Miles Morales come in, and it was actually Ben Reilly that got killed, and that's the twist.
That'd be awesome.
And there's still a Tom Holland Peter Parker out there.
To mentor him. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be great.
I think we got probably
And Donald Glover is already seated as the Prowler, as the uncle. So
Yeah, exactly. And he was in the Across the Spider-Verse movie.
and he was in Homecoming, right?
He was like as a multiversal character. He was in the Across the Spider-Verse
That's
movie.
awesome.
Donald Glover. You didn't see
Yeah.
that?
was he?
No, but I remember he was in Homecoming as the Prowler, as the uncle.
Right, but he was actually the Prowler in Across the Spider-Verse, like Donald
He
Glover.
was. He was the voice.
Yeah,
No, it was
like,
Mahershala
in live
Ali.
action.
Maybe in a version of it.
No, Across the Spider-Verse has Donald Glover in live
Okay.
action as the Prowler.
Oh yes.
Oh,
Yes.
right.
It does. Yes, it
Right.
does.
I totally
Yeah.
forgot about
He's
that.
there in like a hologram as like a live action version.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Oh my god.
In like one of the cages of
You're right.
the Spider Society.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Oh my
crazy.
God.
If they pay that off, it will be one of the greatest.
And bring
accomplishments.
Keaton back because
Like-
he's in this damn Sony verse. He's stuck.
Or just bring Keaton
Bring
back
the
because
Vulture.
just bring Keaton back because it's fucking Michael Keaton, man. Like, come on, we gotta. Yeah. Anyways,
It's on that.
great movie. There's nitpicks that I have. I'm sure if I watch it again, there's either going to be more that I find or less or whatever. Right. I think largely it was really the only thing that bugs me about the ending is the handshake. I think that's stupid. I think
So let's
I don't
get
like
your
that.
thoughts on that because
Had a theory.
our thoughts are on the record. But yeah,
my
Go ahead.
thought is they're seeding. I mean, this is just a very like cynical way of thinking about it. Like with the kiss part, oh, they're gonna get rid of this whole memory thing. This is just a way to find
I
a
think
way
it's
to get
specific
make
to
that
Ned
happen.
at least for now.
It doesn't. Yeah, but if
In
it's
my
specific to one
theory-
character, then there's a way to grow it to others, and they just find a way to sort of make that happen. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't look. They're going to reverse it at some point. I don't know if I like that it being that way. I don't know. I don't know what the solution is, and maybe I'm just
What if-
nitpicking, but
At
I
the
didn't like
same time that, and I'll let you get because Power has a really good idea of what it is. But
Okay.
what if at the same time that they reveal MJ somehow has either the memory back of Peter Parker or they don't reverse it and she just now loves Peter Parker? What if at the
Mhm.
same time they have like a love triangle situation where it's like Felicia Hardy's on the scene or like someone else is on the scene that
that'd be great.
Spider-Man is kind of
Yeah.
dealing with?
It's
Then it will be forgivable that they walked
Yes.
it back.
It's still gonna be tragic. Like they're gonna remember, but yeah, he's gonna be with someone else, or she's gonna be with someone else. Okay, so
or he's gonna
Um,
be dead or something. Like,
yeah.
It's like, wait,
so
I love you. Blah.
there,
Yeah, exactly.
there are hints to my theory, which I put on the record before I read any of the internet stuff, and now I'm pretty sure it's true. And Dave might
Stop reading the
you might agree
internet.
after, but whenever I had all this theories before. I had all these
No, I'm
theories
just kidding.
before.
I'm just kidding.
But when Gene takes
I
over
got
the,
it first.
when Gene takes over the Hulk, right? When they break when
Yeah.
he breaks the hold on the Hulk, he's just like, oh, my brain, she did something to my brain.
Right.
Broke me.
He broke, and then the way that he defeats the Hulk is he said, remember, it's me, it's Peter, your friend.
Mm-hmm.
No one's supposed to know who Peter is. And in that moment, Hulk
And
lets
then
go.
he backs
Oh,
off.
Right?
No, but does he
He
say
backs off
Peter, your
because it's
friend?
Peter Parker, and he's like,
he's
I
like, it's me, it's
recognize
Peter,
you as
it's
like a
me, your
hero.
friend. Don't, he's gonna kill him. He's gonna crush Hulk's gonna crush him.
Oh, I didn't
He's like, I'm
pick
your
up on the
friend,
fact
I'm
that he said
Peter.
Peter. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
What
the
is
Hulk
Peter
seems to
like the
recognize
safe
something.
word? Like, I don't understand.
No, because
So what
Jean
Power's
took him over.
saying-
Because Jean took him over, right? And then Jean also, and when she's on the island, takes over like 1,000 people in New York. Two of
And
those people
Ned
are
was
Ned
one
and
of them.
MJ. And MJ. And she has a
So
tear going
Dave,
down
did
her
you not
eye.
think of WandaVision?
And then the
I
handshake.
try not to think
So
of the second
something
half of
about-
that show, so I don't.
Something about Jean's powers.
The hex. It was like the
Some-
hex.
No, the hex in
Yeah.
general. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
The theory is
It
something
was
about
like
Jean's
Professor
powers.
X and Logan when he freaks out.
So something about Jean's powers undoes the spell. And only people
Yeah.
that have
That
taken over by
doesn't sound
Jean.
too. Yeah.
So it's not going to be like everyone remembers him, but it's like people that have been taken over by Jean. I don't think it's going to be like they
I still
automatically
think.
remember. It's the crack is open to start
Yeah,
remembering.
like
I still
it's-
think.
and
I still think
I
that
think
crack
the
only comes
multiverse-
open because he says the safe word, and the safe word is Peter. Like
Peter, he says it
they're all,
earlier in the
they're
movie.
all
He's
under.
like, Peter, Spider-Man.
Yeah, they're all under the Doctor Strange BDSM, and when you say Peter, it's the safe word.
That's fair, but I also do think that like the events
But that's
of
a good theory. I
Doomsday
like
and
that. I
Secret
like
Wars
that.
are gonna reset things in a way where it's like that's probably not gonna matter, but it does matter now. But I think beyond Secret Wars, I think it's gonna reset in a way where it's like it's probably not gonna matter that much.
It's gonna. I honestly, I think it's gonna be fine. I didn't think that was the good way to end it. I don't know. I felt like I don't like ending it on that note. If they ended it before that scene, I would have been like, oh, great ending. It would have been fine.
I will say that my
It's-
interpretation of the handshake was like, okay, muscle memory combined with the Peter thing, but then like, is he the only one that can think, like, recall it so quickly because of his magical inclinations? Like we saw in No Way Home, he's like magically inclined, so he can use the.
He's
Doctor
magically
Strange
delicious?
sling ring. Yeah, he's magically delicious, but like,
Sorry.
can Ned, because he's dialed into that, like, can he see past the spell? And
So
that's
I
why
think
he particularly.
I think the
remember.
thing that they're leaving open potentially, if people remember this point from about 15, 20 minutes earlier in the movie, is MJ says, be safe, Peter, or whatever, when he jumps out the window.
Right.
And he goes, oh, Spider-Man's name is Peter. I know he remembers the muscle memory of the handshake, but like he could just be saying Peter because she said Peter the day before or 2 days before, whatever it was. Right?
Well, he could, but it does have that dramatic weight of
it does.
oh,
And
Peter, like
that's what they're going for, but maybe that's a bit of an excuse. You know what I mean? Like I can see why that could be part of the argument, and I'm okay with
what
that
it
too.
is cool is
you
like
know?
we don't know necessarily who's going to do a next Spider-Man if there is one. So
Sure.
Spider-Man 5 with Holland could have a completely different director, and they're not bound to like them telling us one way or another. It could just be whatever they want to, the story they want to tell.
Yeah, for sure. And then because we're sort of, Mike stepped away for 2 seconds, but I'm.
Well, I was going to say you have to touch on the post-credit scene.
So, I was told by someone at work, don't stick around.
Don't stick around.
It was late. My wife was very tired. And I was like, let's just go. Let's beat the rush out of here.
Okay.
Let's beat the. So I didn't watch it.
Fair.
We're talking full spoilers. If you guys just tell me exactly what happens, I will never seek it out, and I'll be fine with that. I heard it's a complete waste of time based on the 2 people at work that told me don't even bother.
I'm gonna let Power, who did not step away, like you said, he was here the whole time and he's been listening. He will actually tell you what happens in the post-credit scene. I'll kick it off with da-da-da, da-da-da. It's the Spidey tracker.
It's Ned's Spidey tracker, and it's like that's all it is. It's just that on the screen.
It's a graphic.
The 8-bit, 16-bit graphic. Then it tracks Spider-Man in space, and it's like beep, beep, beep,
So
he's in space.
it shows you that he's in Queens, and then it shows another dot in space. So let me get your opinion.
So many theories.
Also, the spider tracker thing, very much from the video games. At least the look of it is very much from the video games.
That's why you like it.
So another reason,
but what is
there's
your
lots of video game stuff in
that
this
particular post credit?
I think, I mean, sure, that's fine. And what is it, like 3 seconds? Like it's really
It's-
No,
short.
but
or
like,
something?
does that make you
Yeah.
think like, or what are they trying to tell you, or are you just like whatever?
That
it
makes
is
me
what it is?
think that they're just trying to find a way to link it to the multiverse, and that annoys me. So
Well, I like in a way that
I
like
don't know.
No
I
Way
don't know what it
Home
means.
was so good because it brought us the multiverse.
was it though? Was it? We'll talk about
Well,
this in a minute.
we'll
What
talk
was
about
it?
Wait, I thought you liked No Way Home. But anyway.
Sorry, I keep getting
I think-
Far From Home mixed up with that.
Right.
Yeah.
But No Way Home with, bringing the Spider-Man together, but like wrapping up the whole saga of Spider-Man films really
Mhm.
in that I thought was really good. And so this is maybe hinting whether it's in universe like a Miles Morales, like we mentioned,
Yeah.
or it's like actually we're doing Secret Wars and Tobey Maguire's coming back, and maybe even Andrew Garfield, and that this is Spider-Man in space because he's already dealing with the events of Doomsday.
I had two thoughts.
So you're saying
Two
this
thoughts.
is one of those Spider-Men coming from the multiverse,
It's not clear. It's
That
not
they're
clear
showing
what
that
it
he's
is.
not in Queens on Earth; he's actually outside of
or
Earth.
he's in both places, and
So
it's
to
two
me,
Spider-Man.
it's
Right.
either a new Spider-Man that they're tracking. It's like a new Spider-Man has entered,
Yeah,
and they're way off, and then or it's our Spider-Man transferred, and that's like how
Yeah,
Secret
that
Wars, the
makes
Battle
sense.
World or something. And
That
our
makes
Spider-Man
sense.
was in
Yeah.
Queens and now is in space, but it's not
what
clear.
what I think.
Not clear
Yeah.
if it's which of the two it is. Like, is it a new Spider-Man and ours is still in Queens, and there's a new one in space, or did our Spider-Man get transferred from Queens
Go
to
to
space?
space.
That's
Yeah,
where it's
see,
not clear. It's not
and you
answered.
see that this whole what is it kind of thing. Like I know it's just a very simple graphic thing at the end. And
Yeah, there's not
it's
much
like
to it.
less than 10 seconds, whatever. But what that implies takes away from the stuff that I like when I said initially when we started talking about this, where I'm just like, I like a slightly smaller, medium potato stakes story.
Yeah.
Well, this is going to happen
you
in
never
the
even
Avengers
brought up
movie.
Black
This is not
Widow.
gonna
That
happen
was
in
an
the Spider-Man movie.
interesting cameo.
Yeah, the Black Widow thing. I mean, she's great. She's like her comedic timing is fantastic.
good.
She's just so good.
Florence Pugh, Yelena
Florence
Belova,
Pugh is just
so
like
good.
unreal, right? Oh, also too, again, video game reference. One of the suits that you can unlock, I think in Spider-Man 2, not the first one, is Spider-Man in a shirtless in a towel with
Okay.
just the mask on. And if you guys don't know, there's a guy that he used to, I think it was IGN, whatever, his name's Greg Miller or whatever. That I think is still from comics, or I think there is some
It is
panels with that. He said and reached out to Insomniac that made those games and said, you gotta put, I mean, he's a very big video game coverage and reviews, and he's got kind of funny is a big thing or whatever. So he's got some pull in the industry and things like that. Like he knows people through the years. They put that in. They didn't say specifically, but they put that in after he reached out to them in the game. And that's one of the outfits you can unlock.
That's amazing.
Is you can swing around the city
That's
with a
amazing.
towel, just your mask, and no shirt on.
That is like a comic thing, like that. It is like
Yeah.
but now it's been immortalized in video games.
Now it's
so
just
awesome.
yeah, exactly.
And in the movie.
Anyways, good movie, great movie. Let's see where it ranks within
Yes. Let's do
all
it.
of our movies. So we are
Ooh.
we're including the Spider-Verse movies. We're going to do that, and then all the live action from Spider-Man up until this one. So 2, 3, all the Amazing Spider-Man, all of those, and everything Tom Holland related. And this is Spider-Man movies. I don't think we're going to include something like Civil War, right? That's not a Spider-Man movie. That's an Avengers movie, essentially.
Yes.
So
The Avengers movies and Civil War movies will leave out
Has
of
to be
the
starring
Spider-Man,
Spider-Man.
right?
yeah.
It's got
Okay,
Spider-Man
so-
in the title of the film.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to take a really quick break, and we'll come back, and we are going to rank all of these Spider-Man movies now that we have, I guess, seen all of them up until this point. So stay tuned. We will be back in 2 minutes. Welcome back, everyone. Let's talk a little bit more Spider-Man. Why don't we? Like I mentioned before, we are going to be ranking all of the Spider-Man movies. Ian, you said as long as it says Spider-Man in the title, it's included. So Spider-Verse movies, Spider-Verse movies, the 2 that we've had so far, and all the live action ones since, is it 2000 was the first one, I believe?
2002.
2002. Okay, so we'll go from 2002 to 2026. That's what we're going to do. So we will start with, how many movies is that? We have
11.
11 movies.
11, including the 2 very popular animated films.
That's right. Okay, so we'll start with 11. And we'll do kind of the same thing that we did with the movie wager. If you are in the same spot or you are maybe one away, feel free to sort of chime in. But let's start with 11 and we'll work our way down to what our favorites are. Let's do it that way.
I'm just gonna jump in.
Do it, man.
Go for it. What's the worst?
I know what your
Listen.
worst is. I have it. I know what it is.
We have 11 times that we've seen Spider-Man on the big screen. Okay.
Yeah.
This comes around the middle of its run, maybe towards the early end. But if we were doing a top 10 Spider-Man films, this would be an honorable mention. And that is Spider-Man 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 3. It
Yep.
has to be the
It
unanimous.
has to be the worst.
last
I think it
film
is.
in the
I
11.
think it
Agreed.
is. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
we love Tobey Maguire, right? Spider-Man 2 is on a pedestal. But Spider-Man 3, have a whole episode reviewing it. And it is just... It's
Do we
a
really?
masterpiece of disaster that
I'm
Sony
just kidding.
decided
I
to
remember.
Studio interference 101.
It's just
is what it
bad.
is.
And the worst Venom on screen. 100%.
Which is such a shame because Foreman is fucking awesome. I love Foreman, man. I love 70s Show, but it just doesn't work. It doesn't work.
They could have kept the Topher Grace character, but they needed to make Venom more like Venom.
Yeah, it doesn't. It just the whole movie doesn't work. So you know what? This is one of those movies where I would be like, is it third, second, or last? Like third last, second last, or last? Like, is it 9, 10, or 11? I'm fine. It's 11. It's just not good.
I don't even want to beat it. I don't want to beat a dead horse too much, but it
Do
was
it.
the
Beat it, Dead Venom.
disappointment.
Beat it,
It
Dead
was the
Venom.
disappointment of how good the first two are, and
like a
seeing
turd
this in the
in the
movie
wind.
and seeing this in the theater, and just having your soul crushed of like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
it's
never
horrible.
forgive Sony because they made me literally on opening night take my battery out my phone, put it on a table with a post-it note that said it was mine. I can pick it up later.
Come on. Do you want to
That's
see this
what
movie? Are you
that's
serious?
how badly the Young and Eglinton Theater didn't want us to spoil the movie.
Are you kidding? I
God.
didn't know that. That's crazy.
And if I had known that, I would have brought a second battery. Screw you, Sony.
What about a full fucking like over his shoulder video recorder? I mean, I guess that was still the era of a lot of like bootleg stuff.
But that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Take your battery out of your
Shitty
phone.
camera.
Keep
shitty
your
flip
phone.
phones.
Yeah.
Your battery's on a table. You got to pick it up after.
Yeah, that was
That's
like
and when
2000
you like that's 20 years ago. That movie.
Doesn't
Isn't that
Seven.
1 year before Iron Man. How ridiculous.
so bad, man? So
2007.
bad. All right, Ian. Let's just go again. Let's go back to because we're unanimous on
so
that one.
I
10.
will say this. It's like when it comes to ranking the MCU, I'm famous for saying like even the Incredible Hulk, which is on the bottom of my list, is a movie that I like to watch. It's a movie that I had fun in theaters with. So
I gotta watch that
Spider-Man
again.
3
It's
is
been a very
the
long
only
time.
one where I truly left disappointed. Whereas like I have my quips with this one, but the rest of these 10 are all movies I really like. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 is my number 10, and that is because it gets a lot about the aesthetic of Spider-Man right. I think that trilogy in general with Andrew Garfield, even though I like him as Peter Parker, it was heading in a direction that wasn't really sustainable. Sony didn't know what they were doing, and inevitably we got Tom Holland.
It
So
was a right.
I'm kind of glad it ended with that, but it is still a movie I enjoy revisiting. I watched all these movies heading into
You said
my new
trilogy.
day, so-
Was there a third one planned that got canceled? Or...
Well, I think there would have been if it wasn't
Yeah, I
because
agree.
this
No
this
Way
movie
Home, I
still made
guess.
money,
It's
but
still
it
not-
was that whole Sony hack thing and like everyone really kind of harping on the way they were treating Spider-Man that just
So
revealed
you-
that it was not. And
So you
the
have
best
Amazing
hands.
Spider-Man 2 as 10. I have as 9, and I have Amazing Spider-Man number 1 as 10.
yeah, you didn't like the.
So
way
I have
they
the
set up
two
Peter
Garfield
Parker in that one.
ones as the
He's
next
on the
two.
record, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Okay. So the record has been set multiple times that Garfield is my favorite Peter Parker, or my favorite interpretation of Peter Parker, favorite acting portrayal because of him, not because of the material he's dealing with, right? But Amazing Spider-Man 2 is not a good movie. It's just not a good movie. And that's it. So that's
Not
why
his
it's
fault.
at, yeah, it's not his fault. Exactly.
Is that
So
your
that-
number 10?
That's my number 10. Yeah, is 2. Yeah. So it's a shame. I think I think he is an incredible actor in pretty much everything he does. Any movie,
Yeah.
anytime he's been in a show, he is great. It's just a shame that the material is not great. And what really kills me about both of these movies is that I was very excited about the fact that what's his name? Is it Mark Webb? I think it is.
Yeah, it was
Was the
Webb.
director. And Mark Webb got me excited because at that time I was like, oh my God, this guy made 500 Days of Summer, which is a charming sort of romantic comedy with
How
all
funny
the...
is it, Mark Webb?
Yeah, that too.
And yeah, he's not
And
done
I was
much
like, oh,
else
this guy made a
since-
really good... Yeah, this guy made a really good romantic comedy of with Joseph Gordon-Levitt and
Zoe Deschanel.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's got music numbers, it's got animated stuff in it, it's kind of over the top and all this stuff. I was like, oh, if he can sort of pull off a Peter Parker sort of love story type thing, this could be really work, but it doesn't come together.
What did you think of the Peter Parker Gwen Stacy storyline with Emma Stone playing Gwen Stacy?
Again, the two of them, actor-wise, are great. It's just, it doesn't come together. It doesn't...
I thought the emotional arc of Captain Stacy in the first one was actually pretty decent.
That's the thing.
I understand Power's quips with it because it's a different take on Peter Parker that's like more modern.
Right.
Right. So I understand that, but that's why I had it in that reverse order that Power has. So my number 9 is The Amazing Spider-Man. But I think like there was something that was working there, but the other things that weren't were like, actually, we've already kind of dogged on it enough. I'll say the things I really liked about it were we had James Horner on the score in the first one, and we had Hans Zimmer in the second one. The score in these movies are great, and I think like they kind of took notes from that in the MCU version. But like, exactly. I think they've taken a lot of what was good from the Tobey Maguire trilogy and the Andrew Garfield films. Like they cherry pick the best elements to bring into the new Tom Holland franchise for sure.
And to Dave's point, like so. I do love Andrew Garfield as an actor. He, out of all the people that have played Peter Parker, he most looks like Peter Parker walking off the comic into a movie. He looks the part the most. The quips are great. I would like if he could have got, the Raimi, or if he could have got the MCU.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, he got Mark Webb. Spider-Man.
If he was the age that Tom Holland is now and played this would have these movies would be 99% for me. Like they would just
funny enough.
Mark
the threads
Webb?
they're pulling from in The Amazing Spider-Man are like the issue 509, like Sins of the Past, kind of like Straczynski run. Like it is very modern Spider-Man, but it's like when I really started collecting issue to issue Amazing Spider-Man, it was like this kind of storyline for Amazing Spider-Man.
So like since the Spider-Man movies, Mark Webb has directed Snow White, and that's pretty much it. Like,
and that apparently is terrible too. So.
Yeah, that is.
So my thing is, if anyone, and you guys included, have not, I think I've said this to you guys before, if you have not seen Tick Tick Boom, movie,
dude, I was watching those songs on YouTube with my daughter yesterday.
That he is
so good.
Incredible. So good. That movie is so good, and he is you have to watch. It's a musical.
It's a musical.
It's a musical based on a musical.
Great actor.
Yeah.
He's a great actor. Point blank.
I had no idea what this movie was when I watched it. When my wife said, "Let's watch this," I heard it's good or whatever. I honestly think that he should have been awarded every award possible.
I totally agree
that
movie
came out. It is an incredible movie. Yeah. Very, very well done across the board. That sold me on him in anything that he does. That movie, I already liked him. But that movie itself...
But that was after the Spider-Man movies.
It was well after. It was like 10 years later or something. Yeah. But anyways.
Right, number 8. Let's go number 8.
I'll jump in with my number 8 because I think this will be higher on some of the other lists. But for me, it was really great at the time. I
didn't even do my 9. I don't even know my 9.
Oh, you didn't have...
I thought your 9... Oh, what's your 9?
No, so my 11 is 3. My 10 is Amazing Spider-Man 2. And my 9 is Far From Home. I think that movie sucks.
Whoa. You're one of those internet trolls that puts it on the bottom of every list.
That's right. I honestly, I am... I've seen it. I've only seen it twice. I haven't seen it a lot, but I remember my initial reaction, gut reaction still sticks with me that I'm like, I am not having fun with this movie. It is not good. I just do not like it at all. And
man.
I'm just gonna leave it at that. And
Everything
there's,
but the
you know,
locale
so
works for me. Like, yeah, they're in Europe or whatever, but everything
sure,
else, like the relationships and everything else, I love it.
Yeah,
nothing
me
works for me
too.
in that movie. I just don't
All
think
right.
it's a good. I just
That's
don't
that's
like
your
it.
9.
That's my 9.
Okay, so now back to Ian for his 8. All right. All right.
That's
Yeah,
right.
sorry,
Yeah.
I jumped the gun,
Curveball.
but I would say
It's
that
not a
this
curveball.
one
You
is
guys know I
probably
don't
pretty
like that movie.
low. Well, I guess we were so in unison with the Amazing Spider-Man being low, and I feel like that one's a little higher for you. So
That's right.
yeah.
That's right.
So so I'm gonna go back to, again, this is life changing for me. We had X-Men in 2000, went to see it opening night. This was a midnight screening for me. The first Spider-Man in 2002. Midnight screening, so insane. They nailed it. But wow, it's already at number 8. That's how many
That's
good Spider-Man
crazy.
movies we've had
Yeah.
since then.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that movie. So
Yeah.
Green
I feel this
Goblin comes back in a
same.
big way in No Way Home, but
Yeah.
like this is where he began, and I love Sam Raimi for bringing that to life on the big screen.
I feel the same way because Spider-Man. So my 8 is my 8 is across the Spider-Verse sequel
Whoa.
to,
Okay.
and my 7 is Spider-Man.
Okay.
So across the Spider-Verse, I know we talked about it when it came out. Like, to me,
Yeah.
it's because it's half a movie. It feels like to me, so that's why I've docked it so
It
much.
feels like The Empire Strikes Back or
No, it feels like more like half
Infinity
a movie,
War.
and I have to see how it finishes. No,
Oh, Infinity War is
so-
a better movie than that, I think.
Yeah,
Infinity
yeah.
War. Infinity War is better than
I mean,
Endgame,
it's
in my
like it ends
opinion.
on a down note if you're only paying attention to the heroes, right?
right.
Sure.
But then then Spider-Man is my 7th. But Spider-Man, the Tobey Maguire 2002 number 1, until all these other movies came out, was like one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
So for it to be
yeah.
7th on my list is
Yeah.
crazy. Anyways, that's my 8
So that's my 8 is
Is
for the
Spider-Man?
exact same thing you just said.
So we have the same 8.
Yeah. So that's the exact same thing you just said, Mike, is like this movie is still pretty good. I mean, sure, it feels dated, whatever. It's 25 years ago or so, whatever, right? But it is like it's such a monumental thing. But when you start stacking up against other things and you just sort of find the differences, and that's why it gets placed there. It's still a good movie. So, and then we'll get to 7, which you guys will hate me for. So, yeah.
Well, maybe not. Maybe
It's
not.
your Ian 7.
Because my 8 obviously was the original Spider-Man, but like where I really have respect again for my number 7 is that it brought it into the MCU, and that is Spider-Man Homecoming. It's like it's such a good movie for bringing it into the MCU for me, but the other ones with Tom Holland have been so much more impactful for me that this one starts to slip when it comes to overall Spider-Man and overall MCU films.
Yeah,
So it's
fair
kind of in the same spot in both, maybe a little lower on the MCU ranking, but it's like high, but not that high.
Yeah, fair
Okay.
enough.
So
Am I
Homecoming
set-
like brought it into the MCU and introduced Vulture in a way that like I think Raimi would have respected because they did it well, and he wanted to do that famously in Spider-Man 4, but they didn't let him get there because of the whole Venom debacle,
Because
the
of
studio
3.
interference.
Because of the terrible movie he made.
Yeah, I feel that. So my 7 is Spider-Man, but my 6 is Homecoming. So we're close, Ian. We're just like kind of one off, and
Okay.
all the same reasons. Yeah.
And sorry, we're still. Yeah, my 7 is Amazing Spider-Man. And it's
Okay.
honestly it bumps ahead of that first Spider-Man debut because of Garfield, which is exactly what we just talked about. Like I think
Yeah.
he plays the early version of Parker and awkwardness or whatever better than anybody else has, and that's
You know, it was a
why
dumb
it works
nitpick I
better.
had with the Amazing Spider-Man. The fact that they couldn't say with even the shortened version, with great power comes great responsibility, because they already did it is the
Yeah.
most ridiculous thing.
It's silly, yeah. And like Reese, is it Reese Fiennes? Is that how you say his name? Like
Is that
Lizard?
Reese Ifan, yeah.
Yeah, great actor or whatever, but like, man, Lizard looks stupid. Like it just
I think they should have made him look like the comics with the snout.
something they should
Like
have
an alligator snout.
Yeah, like what the fuck is this sort of like weird? Looks like he just put on a mask. Like literally, it looks like the movie The Mask, and then it took over his whole
Yeah.
body as opposed to just his face. Like it looks awkward.
Although, like,
looks
what
so
I will
awkward.
say is, like, I appreciate their time taken to like go through the Gwen Stacy beats in those
Yes.
movies.
Yes.
Where it's like in the comics they wanted to rush to Mary Jane, right?
Yeah.
It's like
yeah.
Sam Raimi, it's gonna be Mary Jane. we want to get to where he's at. But like having the actual tragedy of Gwen Stacy in those films was a huge
It's
benefit.
good.
I think.
It's good. I think it's pretty good. Anyways, I don't need to keep going.
And it sets
Whatever.
up for No Way Home.
And it sets up for No Way Home. There you go. Anyways, that's where I go. What do we got? Six? Yeah, six.
Well, yeah. So we're just edging out the top 5 here. And funny enough, it's again me mentioning this first. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. So not quite top
Oh, shit.
5. Such a monumental film when it comes to animated.
Wait, Into, not Across?
Into. So what I will say is, like,
hot take.
as
You're
much
into
as I
this
love
instead of
that
across
movie,
from it?
That is a hot take.
I'm into the Spider-Verse. But as much as I love that movie, I always kind of lean towards live action. If you can do it well, it's like, in my mind, a little bit harder to pull off.
In some ways.
So it's
sure.
like
Yeah.
you can do a cool animated film and showcase the visual aspects, but they haven't necessarily nailed down the full dramatic capability of like a good live action film, in my opinion. So not having it like number 1 overall, because that would make automatically Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse number 1 and 2. But the fact that they've done really good live action interpretations of Spider-Man is what keeps it from kind of entering that sphere. So it's my number 6, but I really loved it. And my top 5 is like probably some of my favorite movies of all time.
Right.
Oh,
so
dude.
hard not
So,
to.
You haven't said Across the Spider-Verse yet, right? So it's coming. Into is wow. So you have Across ahead of Into. I think that alone is quite controversial. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I do. I have it up ahead.
So my 6 is Homecoming.
Okay.
I will say what Ian's saying. So it's kind of like picking between who is my favorite child.
You could just tell us, Mike. It's okay.
Yeah.
We know Ian's your favorite child. We know.
No.
At least if Mina was here, they could like each pick one and it'd be okay.
Don't worry, Oliver. So
whoever likes Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon the most.
Yeah, whoever enjoys the original run of the Spider-Man comic or Spider-Man animated series.
Since the 8th movie of this list on my Letterboxd has been a 5-star ranking. Like that's crazy, right?
Nuts, man. That's crazy.
Yeah. So I gave Beyond a 5, and that was 8.
Across the Spider-Verse.
Sorry, Across Spider-Verse.
Across, you give a 5? What the fuck?
Yep. And then Spider-Man is also a 5. And then Homecoming is my 6th. It's still a 5-star film, but it's just 6 of my Spider-Man rankings because, like Ian said, these are like not only like my favorite movies of all time, basically, and we're ranking them. So, Homecoming,
some of the best movies I've ever seen. We're about to talk about.
So, Homecoming comes at 6, but it's still 5 stars for me. It's like I said, picking between my children. It's impossible to do, but I have to rank them. And I'm looking back. I do these rankings after I watch the movie. I do all my rankings. Homecoming above Spider-Man is a bit sus for me. Like, I don't know. I gotta watch Homecoming again. But they're very even, if anything. And that just goes to show, like, Tom Holland in his first Spider-Man movie just crushed it.
It's very close for me, right? Because I did 8 with Spider-Man and then 7 with Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yeah. So I'm very similar to you. So yeah, that's it. That's my 6th.
Is Into the Spider-Verse. You're gonna kill me, Power. My number 5. You're gonna.
Hold on.
We gotta hear
I need my 6.
Okay, let's get to your 6. Sorry.
My 6. I was just looking at because Mike was mentioning the stars, so I was also looking at my stars and stuff. I'll have to talk about these as I go because actually I have to look at the animated ones because hold on. Cross.
The 2 animated films are 5-star films in my opinion.
What did I do? Okay. All right. So mine's going to be Across the Spider-Verse at number 6. That's going to be mine. All the stuff Mike mentioned, we're pretty much on the same page. It's just where it hits in my number. So anyways, just wanted to get that out there. Ian, let's go top 5.
But like, would you say
that
it slides down your list based on the fact that it's kind of like an unresolved story?
It's part of it, but I actually think that rewatching both of those movies, I think I've seen Into probably like 4 or 5 times, and I've watched Across probably 3 times. It doesn't have the same.
Like, Into the Spider-Verse has like that. Into the Spider-Verse has like that perfect, almost screenplay aspect to it, where it's like it starts here and it ends here, and it's like it's the most amazing transformation of a character. So it's like hard for me to then justify putting Across above. But what
Totally fine.
I think for myself is that where Into the Spider-Verse walked across the Spider-Verse could run, it kind of leaned into like we can do whatever art style we wanted. It kind of went sonically in a place where I was happy it went. Like it kind of elevated everything that I loved Into the Spider-Verse for and was like the ultimate comic book movie in my mind.
It really does a lot of that. I don't disagree. Yeah, I don't disagree.
And I will talk about Across the Spider-Verse, but we have to get to my number 5, which I believe is next.
Do tell.
And Power. I'm
Don't
so
do it.
sorry to
Do
report.
not do it.
Spider-Man 2 is my top 5 Spider-Man film.
Oh my
Whip.
God.
You got
Way
it, right?
too low, my friend. Way too low.
Okay. Love this movie.
Web,
Came out.
stop.
It was like
Web, stop.
it was the ultimate sequel. If you think about good sequels, we're talking about T2 Judgment Day, Aliens. Like this was a great sequel. Spider-Man 2 superseded the original 100%. But I do think some of the stuff they've been doing with Tom Holland 4 films now have been a little bit better. And there's another one I want to talk about too. But it's just the MCU is like on top for me. So Spider-Man 2 is number 5. Raimi crushed it. Dr. Octopus is like next level accurate, but he pops up in another one of my favorites. So he's also.
I know you love them all, so I won't hold that against you too much, but that hurts. It hurts to hear that number 5.
For now.
My number 5 is Far From Home. Far From Home, number 5.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
we talked about it on the show.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Remember, Far From Home was a top 5 MCU for me until Brand New Day came along.
It's a good movie.
If I look at if I really want to put things on the record, any guess where Far From Home is on all the MCU movies that I have at least ranked currently? Any guess? What
do you have the whole MCU ranking on your letterbox?
I do. I think I'm missing a couple
probably
of
like
movies.
15.
It's probably like 18, 19.
27.
Whoa.
Wow. You really don't like it, eh?
Like,
I really don't like it, guys.
Holy
Anyways,
hell.
like
okay,
I don't know if it was that time in my life, but like it didn't fall in my opinion, it was an improvement from Homecoming. But like even if it wasn't, like it didn't fall like that far from Homecoming for me. Like
far from home coming.
Far from Homecoming.
Okay, my
you
5 my 5 is No Way Home. That's my 5. Great movie. Like just
okay.
all
that's controversial.
So that's as
fantastic
surprising for me as like Spider-Man 2 is number 5 for me.
Sure, fair enough. Yeah. Great movie. Honestly, I think it's fantastic. Everything from here is just great stuff.
It is hard.
So,
it is hard to rank.
Yeah, it's really hard to sort of pinpoint things here at this point, but they're all just fantastic movies for me. So, yeah.
Did you say?
And honestly, I'm partially basing this off of where I may have put down the stars on Letterboxd, for example, and I haven't seen it in a little bit, and like sort of so
you gotta go by your stars.
I gotta go partially that because it would be ranked based on like when I've seen this movie the second or third time or something like that, and that's where it is. So, anyways, 5.
Well, like Power said, we're ranking 5-star films here.
Yep.
So my number 4 is
it though?
Spider-Man
Is it?
Across the Spider-Verse.
Nice.
And I will say this:
Ooh,
the
dude.
spot. Listen, the spot.
You're getting me mad. You're getting me mad here. Above Spider-Man 2? Come on.
Listen,
The
it's
the
just
lower
above
screen on
Spider-Man
this
2.
call
And
is
I'll tell you
starting to
why.
turn red for some reason.
No, it sucks when you hear it in the way we're delivering it. But if you actually look at my list, I go Into the Spider-Verse is like 7, Spider-Man 2 is 6, and then Across the Spider-Verse is 5. So Spider-Man 2 is 5, Across the Spider-Verse is 4.
4.
So Into the Spider-Verse is 6. So it's like they're just around that Spider-Man 2 level, and then what we're about to get into the top 3. But for me, Across is like they did such a good villain origin story with the Spot. I can't ignore that.
Oh, the Spot is
Prowler
great.
reveal is insane.
It's good.
So I'm ready for
Yeah.
them to wrap this trilogy and become a contender for greatest trilogy of all time. We can have another episode of that on back.
We
of my
gotta
life.
do that.
third
trilogies.
movie.
But if they land the plane like Return of the Jedi lands the plane,
Fuck
they're
yeah, it
gonna
does.
be-
True.
like
Honestly,
Star
that-
Wars level event.
That third movie could be the best Spider-Man movie, and it wouldn't even be
and it
close.
would probably
could very
retroactively
well.
make Across even better, right?
Yes, it would. Absolutely, it would.
I think it
yeah,
would. I think it would
absolutely.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
okay.
I'm putting it there. It's my number 4, Across the Spider-Verse.
All right.
Okay.
I think you might be clinically insane for putting Across ahead of Beyond or Into the Spider-Verse. I'm sorry.
So if it was Into, you would still say I'm insane.
No, sorry. Into you put Across the Spider-Verse ahead of Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Right?
So I put Into the Spider-Verse as number 6, then
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2, and then
Yeah, that's
Across
crazy,
the
bro.
Spider-Verse.
I love you, but that's
Yeah.
crazy. All right, here's
Hey,
where I have
Mike. At least he's getting help. If it's clinically insane, at least he's getting help.
Yeah. Peter Parker, Dr. Peter Parker is helping me.
That's right. Dr.
listen,
Parker.
I-
Dr. Ock.
I-
Doc Ock is
like-
helping me.
like you had
Yes,
Into
he
the
is.
Spider-Verse as 6, and I feel guilty for having Into the Spider-Verse here at 4. I know a lot of people have this as 1. I have Into the Spider-Verse here as 4. It is like a perfect Spider-Man movie, and the only reason it's 4 is because I agree with what you said earlier, Ian. If you can pull off Spider-Man in live action and convince me that a real man is doing this shit and webbing across the city, it's more magical than watching a cartoon do it, and that will just always be the case. Like
If you believe a boy can fly,
yeah, if you can be the boy can fly, exactly. It's like
It's harder to pull off.
It is harder to pull off. Like
Yeah.
it should be goofy as hell. It should look stupid, but yet they made it look awesome. And in a world where there's no live action Spider-Mans, Into the Spider-Verse is the perfect Spider-Man movie and is like number 1. But the fact, like, I have 3 more to go, so they pulled it off and they did it in live action better
Yeah.
than this. So
And
And
like,
we covered
that's
your
my-
4,
that's my
right?
4th.
We cover your 4?
he has to go.
No, we didn't cover my 4. My 4 is Spider-Man 2. Fantastic movie. Always fun to revisit. Always a fantastic movie. Can't argue. If it's in your top 5, then you're not a crazy person. How about that?
True.
Just
It's got to be in the top 5. It's got to be at least the top 5.
it's
I
a
agree.
great movie. It's a fun time. I think that whole trilogy, regardless of which one you like better than the other, definitely shows its age based on writing. I honestly, you guys might kill me for this. It's not his. I think this is his fault. Tobey Maguire is the worst Spider-Man and Peter Parker, in my opinion. And
He's definitely more hammed up. Let's put it that way.
and that's the thing. It's
But
hammed
that's
up because
also
that's
the
just-
artistic style that Sam Raimi chose.
It's the style of those movies. It's the style of the script. I don't think that he's as good of an actor as the other two. Like all these things, it doesn't mean that he's bad, and it doesn't mean these movies are bad. But I do think that affects where a movie like this, which is the best of the 3, in my opinion, would be placed. So that's why it's something like that. Anyways, it's a factor. It's
That's
not
fair.
the deciding factor, but it is one of them. So yeah,
Listen,
Spider-Man
we
2 is
wouldn't
my
have
favorite.
gotten to any of these films without that film. So
100%. Because it is such a good movie. It's so much fun. There's so much cool stuff going on. It's just a good film. Yeah.
it's like Iron Man for me. Like it's not very high on my MC ranking, but I'm grateful for it.
Yep.
Top
Top 3. Let's go,
Ooh,
Ian.
It's getting
Well,
spicy
so
now.
I have to defend Spider-Man Far From Home, okay? Episode
Go for it.
26, so back in my day.
You won't
Far From
convince
Home
me, but
is
go for it.
3. Let's go.
Like we broke down why, even though you can see the Mysterio twist coming, Jake Gyllenhaal owns it and he sells it. And I honestly think I'm jealous. I'm like envious of those who watched it and didn't realize Mysterio was like ultimately going to be the bad guy. Like it's such a good movie the way it's written. I think like yes, it doesn't really follow the beats of what you'd expect from like a comic book accurate Spider-Man to follow, but what it does follow the beats of is an MCU Spider-Man that was introduced in Homecoming, and we have this huge elaborate arc, him and MJ becoming an item, and then ultimately paying off in No Way Home, like and then beyond in Brand New Day. This is to me like it was top 5 MCU for me at the time. It's one of my favorite MCU movies, and Tom Holland, in my opinion, kills it as Spider-Man, even if he's doing it in Europe as opposed to New York City.
Love it.
Nice.
All right. That's sweet. Top 3, Far From Home. Can't
Yep.
complain with that. Other than Spider-Man 2 should be here. Anyways.
Other than it's number 27 on my list.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dave, you're crazy, bro. All right.
That's
so
fine. I'll take that.
Spider-Man.
So I'm the counterbalance to Dave's.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
You have to have a balance.
I'm
man.
the
You
middle
have to.
ground. I'm the
And
middle
Mike
ground.
is somewhere in the middle. Exactly. Totally fine.
All right. Number 3. First time this movie is
Mysterio
mentioned,
forever.
so we all have this in our top 3, I guess, is Brand New Day, the one we just talked about.
Yeah,
For
I
all the
guess we all
reasons we
do.
talked about in our reviews, it's a
That's
great
right.
movie.
Yep.
It's awesome. I won't go
Okay.
much more
Yep.
detail than that.
My number 3 is still, I mean, up until yesterday, my favorite Spider-Man movie. Homecoming is number 3 for me. I like
Nice.
the
It
high
is
school
good.
aspect of it. I like the semi introduction, I guess you could say, of Spider-Man. Introduction of Peter Parker, I guess you could say. And the low stakes of it, or semi low stakes of it, just works for me better. I like that. I like that part of Spider-Man. I want to have that part of it be what
The small
Spider-Man
potatoes.
is. Yeah,
Small
I
potatoes.
like the little package that you get at the grocery store of like mini potatoes. You can cook them easier. My kid can eat them. I don't have to chop them up. I don't need to make mashed potatoes out of them. I can just bake them and say that's why I like this movie. Yeah, baked potatoes as
Don't you
opposed to
think it was a
mashed.
big
Right
risk
on the
bringing
grill.
him in? Like, I know they did it in Civil War, but like to have a movie kind of establish Spider-Man in the MCU was a big risk
Yeah, it's a big
after
risk,
the
but I also
two
like this movie
previous
way
attempts.
better than I like Civil War. So, if I
All
look
right.
at my current ranking too, if you want to keep going back to this as like a reference, I can rethink this because I've seen multiple movies and I haven't updated this list yet since I've watched Brand New Day and since I've watched a couple of these a couple more times. Homecoming is still a top 5 MCU movie for me at the
Nice.
That's
moment.
amazing. I love to hear
So,
that.
yeah.
I love to hear that.
Two.
Top two.
Well, where I was saying, Far From
2
Home
and
was my
1, I
number
guess.
3.
2 and 1, I guess.
2 and 1 because we're pretty much going to overlap on a few. Yeah.
Yeah, like honestly, it's funny that you mentioned Homecoming. The only movie that's not in my top 5 of the overall MCU is in yours. Civil War is in my top 5. It's my top 3 actually of the MCU. And now I have No Way Home as number 2 Spider-Man ranking, and I think it's number 4 or 5 actually, if I'm correct in my MCU ranking. So No Way Home. I mean, we did episode 119. We all
No Way
gushed
Home is
about
number
it.
2.
No Way Home is my number 2.
So all right, what's your number 1 then?
That makes my number 1 Spider-Man Brand New Day.
Brand New Day must be. Yeah.
The new? Oh no
Yeah.
way!
Yeah.
Holy shit! Okay.
Yeah.
Is it?
So
Do you
it was,
think? Do
it
you
was
think
tough.
there's going to be a little bit of recency bias in that? You think like maybe
A little bit,
things
but
will settle
I will
down?
say this: we had a whole episode where Power and I
which is
talked about
okay. I'm just
Brand New
curious.
Day,
Just-
and I was toying with putting it like just below No Way Home, and I was like, you know what? It might be recency bias, but I'm seeing it for a 4th time on Tuesday. I love this movie. I'm putting it number
Good,
1
man.
overall.
You love what you love, man.
Yeah.
Can't
Yeah.
deny the
Brand New
heart.
Day.
Yep.
That's great. Okay, I respect that. My top 2, my last 2 Spider movies. I have No Way Home at number 2. Okay, we talked about it. We love it.
Mhm.
It's amazing. You got all the Spider-Man in the same movies. They did what the animated movie did. That was so magical.
Well,
but
yeah,
in live
they made
action,
it into the Spider-Verse in
Yeah.
live action, which
So-
is insane.
and made it work. So insane. And brought all these villains back from all these movies I love, from even the Sam Raimi time. Crazy. But to me, the best Spider-Man movie ever made is still from back in 2004. It's still Spider-Man 2. I still think it's the quintessential Spider-Man movie. I still think it has what no other Spider-Man movie has, which is the tragic
Doc
hero,
Ock.
the tragic hero grappling
Which
with
we got No Way Home.
everyday
Yeah.
situations and having to be Spider-Man and an epic villain. He can't pay the rent. He has to work a real job. That's the one thing that's the Tom Holland Spider-Man is missing. Okay, if
That
the
he
Yeah,
doesn't have a
they-
job.
if the Tom
You
Holland
jobless
Spider-Man- yeah,
hobo.
Yeah.
he is Nepo baby Spider-Man. He has Tony Stark's money, I guess, because he
Yeah.
has this AI and shit.
True.
That's not the
Or
real
he's
Spider-Man.
disassembling DVD players and
That's
making
not the real Spider-Man.
God knows what.
The real Spider-Man, as Stan Lee and Steve Ditko wrote him, is so relatable because he has the everyday problems you and me have. And that only happened in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
Is the
But
essential.
let me ask
He's
Dave
delivering
this question,
pizzas.
okay?
He can't afford his rent.
Dave.
He can't get the girl. He has to fight. Like, that is Spider-Man. You can all see ourselves as Spider-Man. Spider-Man 2 still carries that to this day. I know it doesn't have the CGI effects that the new Spider-Man have, but it has
that's
the
fine. That
essential
J.K.
parts
Simmons
of the
is
character. Okay, so
J.K. Simmons is JJJ is pretty inspired. I will
is
say.
inspired.
Yeah,
So that's why, to
Dave.
me, it has to be number 2. And it's got the cast, got the Harry Osborn, him working at Daily Bugle, MJ,
Oh,
Mary
Harry
Jane
Osborn.
Watson.
He's in all the trilogies except
Yeah.
Tom Holland. But no, but Dave, in the Amazing Spider-Man 2, they kind of allude to the fact that Peter Parker is selling his photos to the Bugle. Is that really what it takes? Tell me, is that really what it takes to prove that he's making his on his own steam, or do we need scenes of what we've seen before in Spider-Man trilogy, like working the Daily Bugle, doing the pizza runs? Do we need those scenes again with
It's
Tom
just the
Holland,
everyday
or is
struggles.
it implied?
So the thing is so there's a little bit of an in between. I don't know that I totally get what both of you guys are saying and stuff. My issue with if you want Spider-Man to be that, Tom Holland's missing it. There's no to me there's no
100%.
question that it's missing
He's
it,
Nepo
right?
But
baby
so is
Spider-Man.
Garfield too, right?
He is a
doesn't
little
really
bit
do the
too, yeah,
jock
which
thing.
is part of the
Yeah.
problem with those movies, right? I think that's part of the issue is those aren't big MCU connected sort of movies, but then they're also missing some of those aspects, which is why they don't always work, right? In some aspects. So that's part of the issue with those. But I think the problem is with Tom Holland's version is it feels like they don't even try to do that.
They don't.
That's the issue with
No.
that version of Peter Parker is like Brand New Day might be a great movie, but it's a great movie because everything outside of that point. But if you stop and think like, oh, but I want Peter Parker that's like struggling every day or whatever, the struggling everyday part of Brand New Day and any of the movies that he's been in is related to MJ, not related to his everyday life.
He's got an AI that if he got some seed investors, he'd have $1 billion. Like,
dude, he's fucking making
I mean, but
inhibitors. He's
Yeah.
making
He's
inhibitors,
also
and that's his
Peter
problem.
Parker,
Like,
which is up there with Reed Richards and Tony Stark. Like,
No,
you know,
but that's not Spider-Man, man. Spider-Man is he has the struggles of you and me. He has the struggles of the everyday person, but he's also goes out there and be's a hero. And that Tom Holland, Spider-Man, as much as I love them, I have 2 of his movies in the top 3. They have not got that down yet.
well, they're not going to at this point.
He also has the everyday struggles of an average, person trying to survive.
But Mike, his
I will-
everyday struggles is that he lives in the attic as opposed to 2 floors below.
Oh,
Well,
like
I will
that's
say
the difference in Brand New
the
Day.
scene with the neighbor was absolutely hilarious.
Oh, that was
With
good,
Juicy
yeah.
Pants. It was so funny.
Or
But,
like she's like, "Hey, we live on the same floor." He's like,
until
Yeah,
I see the
okay,
Tom
bye.
Holland Spider-Man have a suit that doesn't have any AI and he struggles to pay his rent.
come on,
then,
this was the most comic accurate portrayal of Spider-Man we've seen.
No, Spider-Man 2 is not.
Well, okay, but let's put it this way: I would say that Holland, yeah, he didn't have to deal with the job aspect or anything like that, but like
The everyday
So-
struggles. Spider-Man is supposed to be so relatable because we can all relate to him because he's just a kid with all the struggles we have, right? That's the beauty of the character. Only the Raimi movies have captured that. We have yet to see that since the
disagree. Live action, yes, but disagree
Live action.
because the Spider-Verse
sorry.
versions
Yes.
do that.
exactly.
And that is like 80% of both of those.
The only
movies.
thing I will say to really counteract anything you're saying, because I believe you, I think that we have a progression where it's like, yeah, we're not gonna maybe necessarily repeat the same beats, so we avoid certain things.
Yeah.
But like, what I will say is that like, I don't know, the overall runtime is not something I'm ever a critic of. Like, if I see a 3-hour movie, if it was good, I don't say, well, it could have been 2.5 hours. If I see a 1.5, we were talking about Supergirl. It was like 1.5 hours. Normally, that would be a point of contention, like, or like oh yeah, it was a short. It didn't have to be 2.5 hours, but really, I think that a movie is the length that it should be. Brand New Day is like 220, could be like 240, and it would still be great, and maybe it'll include some other aspects of his life, but they focused on things that were important to the story, and I think that was the whole mutation aspect. Bruce Banner, Jean Grey, Punisher coming in there.
So
Yelena Belova is some like comic relief, Black Widow action, New Avengers. I thought we got the most comic book Spider-Man we've got to date with Brand New Day.
so that's perfect for
Go
me to have Brand New Day as my number 2. There we go.
Oh yeah.
is that it is a very good movie, guys. I can nitpick all I
Wow.
want, but
I
it
can't
is
believe
just,
you had number 2. That's
yeah,
awesome,
man.
man.
Yeah, it
Wow.
was sitting there. It's very, very
Isn't
good.
that
I had
amazing?
That's
It's
awesome.
Yeah.
truly amazing. that
It's
number
great.
2
I am
for you.
so it's not like I was going in expecting it to be trash or anything. I'm always
We
going
were really
to be,
scared you were gonna hate it. We were
Yeah,
really
but
scared you were
I
gonna
was shaking in my boots. I was a puddle on the
but what
floor.
did you think I was gonna hate? Like, what about it?
Because
the MCU tie.
the Far From Home thing for me, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, if he
Okay.
thinks it's like this, but it's such a different movie.
No, I don't think.
I love
Yeah,
that they
no,
make
it's
him the most
different.
loneliest, depressing bastard on the planet. Like, I love
Good.
that.
Make him fucking depressed. That's great. I
Yeah.
want it. I want to see him fucking struggle.
That's
Like
Spider-Man, bro.
I want
That's
that.
what you gotta.
Like,
Yeah. That's
yeah,
Spider-Man.
I don't need everything to be like, pretend struggle. All I have to do is call up Tony Stark, or all I have to do is call up my buddies. Like,
Mhm.
make it about him and how it's struggling. Yes, he is not going to be that street level Spider-Man. That's just not this version that they're going for. They're way too far past that. It's not happening, right? With this version.
Although it was a
That's
pretty
okay.
street level movie, though.
No, that's what I mean. That's one of the reasons why I like it so much. Is yes, there is tie-ins to larger storylines that are going to continue. Like we've said, it feels like it was handled pretty well and everything, but it still does feel like a contained version, despite being connected to a larger, like literally multiverse. That's why I like this movie. It's very good. I'll watch
We
it again,
never.
and I'll probably still enjoy it, and that's great. So
It's a little bit of a spoiler insert callback to our brand new day discussion, but we never explored or got your take on. Did you like the cerebral aspect of it? The fact that they didn't end in a grand fight. It was more like the mental aspect of the
yeah,
movie.
great.
That was the
Like
best.
make
The
things
Ant-Man
quieter.
speech.
I don't need things to be, what is it, the blue beam in the
Blue beam in the
sky?
sky. Yeah.
I'm done. Like I don't want
Yeah,
that.
we're
I
all
don't want
done with
any of
that.
that.
Yeah.
That's the stuff that exhausts me with
It was
with
kind of
these
like
movies.
Thunderbolts in a way.
Yeah. And Thunderbolts is great. I look at my ranking. I got my phone right here. Thunderbolts is number 5 in all of the MCU. It is a great movie because of the way it handles everything else. And like we've discussed, it is not about the battles. It is about the emotional parts. It's about the connection between the people you're working with. And I didn't
I
love
love
the
that.
ending, but everything else is great. Like, I
Yeah,
didn't
the
love those
movie
last
was
2
great,
minutes,
and then
but
Yelena Belova showing up in Brand New Day is
and
also
this
great.
is great.
So.
Love it. I didn't expect that either. And I was like, oh, I mean, she's good in everything she does, so it's totally fine. But anyways, I still have my number 1. Any guesses, guys? Any guesses? What's my number 1?
I have
haven't
a
mentioned
slight
yet.
guess.
I have a slight guess too.
I think it's Into the Spider-Verse.
It's Into the Spider-Verse. It's the only thing I haven't mentioned yet because it is one of the most creative things I have ever seen on the screen ever. And I know you can't pull off the same stuff in live action, but just the fact that they did what they did with the character, with the whole everything you're talking about Spider-Man 2, Mike. Yes, it's not live action, but all of those aspects are into the Spider-Verse in a different, version of Spider-Man and stuff. And it is
I don't
just
know how Sony does it. They get the animated Spider-Man picture
It's
perfect. Let's
fucking
get
perfect.
it. And then their spin-off Spider-Man movies are just all over the place dumb. It's just like Sony,
all over
what
the
are
place
you
dumb.
doing?
Not just all
Sony,
over the
what are
place,
you
but
doing?
all over the place
Into
dumb.
the Spider-Verse is a perfect script.
Because Lord and Miller can only make one movie every couple of years.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. It's
But
I
you
think
can
this
see
movie,
how if the events of that movie played out in live action, it might not have grabbed hold the way it did. It was
no, but
it had to be
I think you
animated.
might not be wrong about that, but I don't to me I don't care. To me it's just if they've done this stylized version of the real world with Spider-Man inserted into it and have all these creative elements come together, I don't care what it looks like. I don't care if it's live action or animated. Like a good movie
Right.
is a good movie, and that's
fair.
it. And what's weird with my whole take on a lot of superhero movies and even TV shows, but more so the movies, if we're talking about that specifically, is it's funny because I think, Ian, you're someone who says for sure a lot of the time, oh, I had a great time at this movie and I love it. And for me, I want more than just a great time.
Right.
I want something deeper. I want something more emotional, not all the time, but I also enjoy just the popcorn movie at the same time.
Yeah.
And I think Into the Spider-Verse has both of those things.
It definitely does.
And I think Brand New Day has both of those things. Spider-Man 2 has both of those things. Animated or not. And I think No Way Home has both of those things too. That's what I need out of these films. If you are just going to deliver just the popcorn, make it corny. Make it not a great movie. And then I'll have a good time with it.
Like,
if you're going to
anything that
fake
you're
your way
saying in
through
a nutshell, at least for back in my day, is like your number 5 is Spider-Man Homecoming. So I think what you're saying is basically like, there's so many good Spider-Man movies that if they get it right, it's like next level.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I could be nitpicking about things or whatever, but like I look at and this is only somewhat related to this, but I look at like horror movies, for example, and I've really sort of picked up on a lot of thriller and horror movies lately in the last, let's say, like 5 or 6 years, partially based on what like Jordan Peele has made, like with Get Out and stuff like that. I think that, and Nope and Barbarian and everything that he's made, and Resident Evil coming up, and like all those things, like those things work for me because they freak you out or they make you feel uneasy, but they're doing something with that and they're telling you something, and there's some background behind it, and there's emotion behind it, and there's a message to be told and things like that. And I think some of these Spider-Man movies have that. A lot of them don't, and a lot of MCU movies have none of that in my perspective.
Yeah.
But these top 5 or 3 Spider-Man movies do. And that's why I really like them. So,
I think this is kind of going off on a tangent, but like when Stanley was trying to put Spider-Man out there, I feel like it was a sweet spot of like, we have all these power fantasy characters, and now we have a character that people can relate to. They're more like down to earth and like, oh, we just happen to get powers, but like now how do we use them kind of thing. It's like not just like having the powers and like going full tilt. It was more like he came at that sweet spot time of like, okay, how does it balance like having powers and using them in real life, and like that kind of story.
Exactly. That's why I love Spider-Man 2, because that's the
it definitely deals with that. I mean, there's
everyday
multiple
person having to still want to do the right, and it's like it's perfect. It's like it's an everyday person who gets the powers, and the first thing he does is use them for personal gain, right? Which is like what, and then it ends in tragedy, and he learns his lesson. And from then on, he uses his powers for good. But he still has to juggle the everyday responsibilities of a normal person. And it makes the character so relatable. And that's what's lasted the test of time. That's why there's 11 Spider-Man movies in the last 30 years.
I agree with that.
And if you don't make him relatable, then you lose the plot. And you've lost the character. And that's the Tom, as much as I love the MCU Tom Holland movies, why they won't reach number 1 for me is because of that reason. Because he doesn't struggle with the problems that everyday people do.
But I think what they did brilliantly, in my opinion, was take a home trilogy where he's a high school student and take 3 movies to tell an origin of what they would normally do in one movie. He never
struggles once with what young people living in New York struggle with in today.
I would say he does that in Brand New Day.
No, he doesn't.
Yes and no.
He has this all its computer screens and this AI and all this shit.
But that's believable because he's so smart and he could come up with that.
I think it's believable. I want to see him struggle to pay his rent and have to hand make his suit himself.
We don't need more bicycle sequences delivering pizzas.
That's what I want to see, man. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. I want to see a relatable Spider-Man
2.
I think Mike's biggest issue is he doesn't like Little Caesars. I think that's what we're getting at here.
Yeah. Don't like Nepo babies and Little Caesars who eat Little Caesars.
Look, we're not from New York, but there's no way if we were that we would be eating. I don't even eat Little Caesars and it's down the street from me. So.
I'll
pick it up right now for $5. I'm not going to eat it.
I think Brand New Day does this thing where I probably mentioned it previously, but like they bring in the MCU in a way that like feels integral to the story, but also enhances it. Like Punisher and the Hulk being in these action sequences, it's just like it feels so organic. But like you can never imagine Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man coming upon both of those characters in one movie. It just
but I think that's not because of this particular movie. That's because of what's come before. That's why.
But like they could have gone, like, if Sony had the reins, they could have just thrown everything they had at it, right? But like they actually took the time to work these characters into the story and make them all feel integral in a way.
I think the difference with these movies with Holland is that he was inserted into a universe or multiverse at this point that was already very established. And they can insert him in a way and have him as a certain version of the character that the other movies were not doing that. They were separate from everything else, which
100%, yeah.
which is totally fine. So you need to sort of, to me, they're not even the same approach. Like you're not even trying to make the same character.
Yeah,
And
you're acknowledging you had this, but like that's what makes it so cool is like they acknowledge they did the thing already, so they didn't have to do it again, and then they had their cake and ate it too with No Way Home because they said all of these characters are tied together in a multiverse. So everything they've been through with Uncle Ben and everything has technically happened in a way, right? And it's like now we're just
yeah,
kind of cherry picking at this point. It's like they're getting to do whatever they want and kind of having the benefit of what we all experienced before in a meta way.
yeah. I mean, at the same time, like we can say certain versions of Spider-Man and stuff like that, but like all of us have Brand New Day
our
very high on
own,
our list.
and we all have our own experiences with it, so we're all going to bring in our own. But I will just say, Eminem wrote one song about a Spider-Man, and it was Toby. So you got that. I got that. I got that.
So cold-hearted as Spider-Man throwing a spider in the snow. So good. Recovery.
Yeah. Anyways, just a whole list of feel anybody listening, and you two guys included, continue to shit on me about my opinions with No Way Home.
Honestly, Dave,
like
you're a breath of fresh air when it comes to the MCU. We're so deep in the Marvel zombie universe, it's unreal.
I'm not. Yeah,
like,
I'm not, man.
We
like,
just say everything we love about it, and I don't even pick. I haven't said a bad thing about Brand New Day, so
Yeah.
yeah,
Dave
like,
had it too, so that was right. You had it too, number 2. Yeah,
number 2.
So,
Yep, it's fantastic.
yeah,
It is one of those movies I have not revisited. I mean, I've revisited every Spider-Man movie at least a second or third time. It's one of those ones that I will seek out to watch
watching the
more.
Andrew Garfield movies again and not like getting annoyed or anything. I was like, this is amazing because it all leads to No Way Home. It's insane.
Yeah,
I'm glad Andrew Garfield failed, so Tom Holland could come in. Is what you're saying?
sure.
It's such a magic trick that they pulled off with No Way Home. I mean, to have that moment with Andrew Garfield that pays off. It's like you get all this and
again.
all these unanswered questions are now answered by the MCU.
We're okay. That's our list. We're in irresponsible speculation. There is now that that's happened and they've like introduced multiverse. Like you cannot discount that they could do Amazing Spider-Man 3 and just be like, yeah, it's a multiverse movie, and Andrew Garfield could come back and play Spider-Man. An older Spider-Man.
And they could do it Tobey Maguire 4.
Yeah, Tobey Maguire 4, and he's a geriatric Spider-Man.
Dude, he's going to be like 60 years old. Like,
yeah.
The youth pastor.
Poor guy.
He shows his costume.
Yeah, poor guy. Let him retire. Come on.
Yeah, I just leave the guy alone, man.
Well, wouldn't it be cool?
Maybe that's where Miles comes from. It comes from his universe.
Oh,
wouldn't it be cool if the post-credit scene in Brand New Day was referring to Toby and he was only involved in the Secret Wars stuff, but it was really just...
If I had it my way, let Toby be. Okay, he's got, for me, the best one. And then he's got No Way Home, the second best one. But I would love to see a redemption for Andrew Garfield. Because to me, I agree. Like, I agree with Dave. Like, he is, like, Peter Parker walked off the comic into the movie. The movies are trash. The director is not good. The writing wasn't good. Give Andrew and like Elseworlds
first name basis
Spider-Man fucking movie with a good director and let him cook, and it would be amazing.
But he doesn't even need to be in his own movie, and it would still work. Like,
yeah,
well,
like let him arrive in the next
let him
Tom
be the
Holland
one
movie.
Comes to Secret Wars.
This is
and
how
they could
crazy
they could do like a buddy cop. They could do a buddy cop movie, the two of them.
Oh,
how great would that be?
It would be amazing. It would be amazing.
It'd be so good.
Yeah.
Two good actors, two British dudes that just fucking eat up scenery with fake American
Spider-Man?
accents. It'd be unreal.
Two British dudes with fake American accents.
Imagine they just like don't have their accents in that particular movie, or they don't. They're
They'd
just
have to do one scene, like one multiverse.
they're
scene
just
where it's
British the whole movie. Just that one movie,
Yeah.
they're just both British. Just
UK Spider-Man.
yeah, UK. Yeah, they go on a plane, they arrive in England, and they're just like, hey, we have our accents now.
Yeah. Well, I
Because
did say
that's how it works, right?
my favorite part of the Garfield films was honestly the music. I will stand by that.
Yeah, music's good.
It's funny. I will invoke Uncle P energy right now because I went to see The Amazing Spider-Man with Uncle Peter in theaters, and it's funny to hear Mike talk about. Yes, he's a good Peter Parker, but it just overall wasn't a good direction. Dave, you obviously love his Peter Parker. Uncle P, hated that interpretation of Peter Parker. He says it's not like the comics he
So did
remembers.
I. So did I.
So yeah.
Yeah,
So
and that's
I
and
also
again,
hate it.
that's the thing. Like Ian, you were saying, like, oh, it's refreshing to hear what you think. I'm just coming in at a different perspective as part of it, right? Like that's the thing. I am not attributing his version or anyone's version of Parker or Spider-Man from a comic. I may have read a few there, but none of that stuff is ingrained in my mind to say, oh, I don't like the way they interpreted this. No, I just like what he did. That's it.
Yeah.
With, again, material's not great, but what he did with it, I liked. And that's
and
all I'm.
I actually
that's it.
appreciate those movies
So-
more now that I know that it's like included in the tapestry that is No Way Home. It's
Wow.
like this nice
Yeah.
progression of the character.
Yeah,
So
it's
what's
really,
funny
yeah.
is if we had to anoint a Spider-Man movie as the back in my day consensus best Spider-Man movie, it would probably be Brand New Day.
Brand New Day. Yeah, probably.
Because I have it as 3,
Yeah.
Dave has it as 2, and Ian has it as 1.
Yeah.
Yep.
It has to
I
be.
don't think any other movie reaches that. So there you
Well,
go.
if you think
Brand new.
about it,
Yeah.
Maguire, even though he shows up in No Way Home, he never had that 4-picture treatment. I think Holland is the only one that's been able to take it to that level of like, let's capture all the angles, let's cover all the bases. I think.
Yeah,
So,
I think again, it's just that's the
happy with it.
nature of what these movies and this franchise has turned into, rather than it's because he's the best Spider-Man or because we need to. It's just it's the nature of the way things have gone, is what it is, more than anything else.
Well, the fact that he's been in 4 Spider-Man movies and they've all been like, I can't say too much bad.
well,
about
even
Sam.
Far From Home made $1 billion, so you can't really.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
say
no,
anything.
they should all
They-
have done well and they deserve to. Really, at the end of the
And
day, like it's great
he's the
that
most
they have.
successful in them.
Yeah, absolutely. So
They're all
curi-
good, entertaining movies. Whereas
That's-
like Andrew Garfield and Toby at least have one stinker in
yes,
their runs.
that's right.
So,
That's right. They all have a stinker in my mind, but that's just me out of the three of us.
Right.
But I would agree that if they brought Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield back, it would be like a cool redemption. They've already done it with No Way Home, but like to make a Spider-Man movie with multiple Spider-Man that could like be their best film in their catalog, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, but No Way Home comes close, man. Like it comes close.
It does.
Like,
Yeah,
it's,
there is that.
it's a great movie, you know, and that scene with them all involved and like it's good. It's a great sort of that second half of that movie is really solid.
I honestly
Really
think that
good.
No Way Home gets better because Brand New Day sits in the consequences of it. Like it doesn't let him off the hook.
Yeah, I'm
for
gonna have to
example.
rewatch it now that I've seen this and sort of
yeah, it's almost like you should have put No Way Home ahead of Brand New Day, like some of us did.
Well, you know what I will say,
at
Power,
the
is that
non-clinically
when we talked
crazy
about
end.
it, they were at the same spot, right? But then I've watched No Way Home again, leading into Brand New Day, and I've gone to see Brand New Day again, and honestly, it's just the fact that it's more of a Spider-Man centric story, if that makes sense. Like No Way Home is more like the overarching saga of Spider-Man in film, but Brand New Day is like Spider-Man just being himself in New
It's
York.
totally, yeah. You're totally fair. You're totally justified. It's your opinion. Look, it's my third, and it's your first. It's not far off. It's a great movie.
right? Yeah.
I'm gonna go see it in IMAX. So there's that.
In the IMAX.
In the IMAX.
The IMAX. Okay, Spider-Man, everybody, go check, honestly, all of them out. If you're one of the 3 people in the world, I was the 4th and my wife was the 5th that hadn't seen Brand New Day at this point, go watch it. It's a great movie. Pretty much like Mike said, if it's going to be a consensus, I say we land on that and we'd all be pretty happy with that at this point. So, thank you for sitting through all this, everyone. Lots of superhero talk. We've had a great time talking about this. more movies coming up. Summer Movie Wager is inching closer and closer and closer. I cannot wait to see.
It's almost looking like finalized at this point.
It's pretty finalized. I can't wait to see how close to zero my list gets. It's going to be fantastic. So stick
into
with
the
us.
further it does, like $200 million.
Yeah. I have these big movies, 2-3 movies on my list, but they are not in the right spot.
Which this might not be anything close related to the episode we're recording right now, but have you seen Obsession?
No, I still want to. No, I haven't seen it yet.
I'm the only one. It's actually worth being on the top 10.
I hear it is. So looks like my jam. Like I mentioned with the horror and thriller stuff, it seems like it's got some juice. So I'm excited.
You gotta go check it out.
Yeah, it's honestly it's queued up. The wife didn't want to watch it, so I'm like, okay, I'll find time to watch it.
No, you gotta make her watch it. Make her watch it.
She actually might really like it. Honestly, she might actually really like it. So she really liked Weapons, and I know it's not the same movie, but it feels like the same approach.
I would say that
in some ways. So.
It's better than Weapons in the way that Barbarian is better than Weapons, in my opinion.
Oh, see, I like Weapons better.
Okay.
Although very great movies. So, anyways, okay, everyone. Check out more movies. Summer's coming to an end. We got a couple weeks where we're going to sort of be on vacation and things like that, but we will be back not long after that, and we will be talking about some more movies, some more TV, and our movie wager. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you soon. Goodbye.